different sources that I had. And so I said, hey, what's the team health look like? And he said, glad this is Friday, because if it was Tuesday or Wednesday, it had been a different story. But apparently, according to his health assessment of the team, there were quite a few players sick earlier in the week, and he thinks they're past that. So that's a good thing, that hopefully everybody is 100% health-wise coming into that game tonight. I asked him, what's been your challenge this week? What's the key to the game tonight? And he said, usually coaches are, really trying to motivate their players and get them, right at the top level. He said, for this game tonight, because of all the hype and the excitement and the tradition and the records going at each other, and, probably be a, overflow crowd here tonight, he said his biggest challenge is to kind of make sure that his players, are slowed down a little bit, that they understand what got him here tonight undefeated, and that they don't kind of get ahead of themselves, get kind of worked up, kind of speed that game up in a kind of a manner that they're not used to. And he thinks that his objective this week, along with his coaches, was, keep their feet on the ground, make sure they remember what got them here tonight, don't get caught up in the hype, and just kind of, take it as it comes tonight. So that was kind of interesting for him, that he had the players that he thought he just kind of had to, as opposed to typically a coach is kind of motivate. Tonight for tonight's game, it almost sounded like he was trying to demotivate his players so that they could kind of stay in the moment, so to speak. But I said, who's going to be a problem for you tonight at Boyne City? The first person he said right off the top of his head was Calcaterra. So he said he's probably one of their better football players. He said, keep your eye on him. He's going to cause us some problems. There's also McEwen that he mentioned that was going to cause him problems. And a lot of Boyne City players are also playing both ways, even though it's a little bigger school and probably had a little more leeway with regards to, not playing both ways, a lot of kids. But apparently this McEwen plays both ways, and he's a problem on both sides. So I asked him about Lemoran, because Lemoran was injured early on. And last week we noted that he only played, half the game or a little bit. And he said that was not because of an injury. He just was trying to just play him on one side of the ball and not have him go both ways. So that was the kind of design that he did. But, that was kind of it. Obviously, for him even, he's a high school grad from Charlevoix. He appreciates this. When he was back in high school, he played Boyne City, at least a couple times in football and basketball and everything. So, he's geeked about it, excited about I said, Coach, these are going to be memories for these kids tonight. Be memories for these kids for a long time, maybe forever. Big crucial game, critical game, and if Charlevoix were to come out of this with a victory, it'd be a huge boost finishing off the rest of the season.
Well, I tell you what, ladies and gentlemen, Boyne City's hyped, Charlevoix's hyped, we're all hyped here. Dennis, myself, Shane Smith, and Charles Strail, he's operating the 1s and 2s on the keyboards tonight. So with that'll pretty much wrap up our general Painting and Cabinetry pregame show. We'll be right back here in just a couple of minutes with kickoff.
Since 1994, J. Arnold Painting has been a Northern Michigan industry leader, but now they're offering you the same great service, but with custom-made, handcrafted cabinetry. You order it, and they build it. Everything is constructed and assembled right in Charlevoix and then delivered straight to your home. J. Arnold Custom Cabinetry takes pride in their elite-level craftsmanship and high emphasis on customer service. Contact them for more info. That's J. Arnold Custom Cabinetry at 231-547-0540.
Goes to Mason Wilcox.
And here we go, ladies and gentlemen.
Underway. Mason
Kickoff.
Wilcox gets taken down.
Mess there at the 30-yard line.
By Landon Swanson, another
Yeah, he's a
all-purpose player. Yeah,
he's a tough
Looks like
kid,
we
6
already have a
foot,
little
probably 210
That's up
pounds.
there on the scoreboard.
And
We're doing this
he's
through
one of
Ramblers
K&D,
Sports Network tonight.
Swanson over there.
So
I
we
was
want
talking
to
to one
thank
of the
them for
coaches. He goes and
providing
works
this,
all
but
summer
they
for 9 or
already
10
have
hours.
Boyne
Goes
City
to
up
practice for a few
1-0.
hours and goes and lifts weights. He's that kind of kid.
That's a kid that works
home
hard.
field
Yep.
That's him.
Yeah,
No
they
stranger to
spotted
hard
us.
work. And here we
We
go
spotted
with,
them a
Boyne
point.
City's first
Like to see
play.
how they got
Talking
that
with
one
Coach
point.
Tuttle. His daughter Sadie picked the first
Boyne
play of the
City's
game
starting
here
off
tonight
here. We'll try and
as they
give you
were
numbers
breaking
as
down
best we can
film.
see
So
them here.
this should be
That's nice
interesting
that
right
she
here. You
helps.
see
Looking
everything
off
spread out. He's
TV.
in a lone backfield. Jack Neer
Here we
just
go.
making a
Number
pick
one,
right
Jack
there, and he
Neer.
just throws it into the
Pass,
dirt.
short flick over there.
I think that
Number
was there. He
17.
just
Shake off the jitters.
get
a
the
little bit.
jitters out of the
14,
way.
that's Gavin Hewitt for
It's a
Boyne
rare
City. He
miss
wasn't
from a
able to
quick,
connect, so
easy
he'll be
pass
second
that
and 10 here in just
was
a moment.
intended to go out.
What a beautiful night for
mentioned those
football.
Herzog
It
boys,
just
they're
just
brothers.
absolutely
Watching those
perfect.
guys
The weather,
squat
the
is
sunshine. I
They
just
got
before I
some,
came over to do the game here tonight, I was out on the Muni in Charlevoix getting in another 9 holes. It was just absolutely perfect night to be sitting over there in Boyne City watching this big game.
Perfect weather equals to perfect game in my book. Boyne City looks ready to go. They've got a packed house tonight. It is homecoming after all, so that just elevates the excitement all the more. As Neer once again fires up the sideline, nobody was there to get it. Pretty good coverage provided by A.J. Spiegel for Charlevoix there.
Yeah, he was trying to hit Ryan Spate out in the flat out there, and again, so far anyway, 0 for 2 on passing attempts for Boyne City.
Nice look for the Raiders at the moment, keeping Boyne City's first drive up the field quelled at the moment. Hopefully we can hold them off for one more down.
Yeah, big third down play here, 3rd and 10, right?
Yep.
Beautiful trees in the background, great night. I can smell the hot dogs.
Here we go, Neer loading up, looking for a man downfield. He fires over the head, my goodness, about 5-6 feet. And that was taken care of by number 4, Max Dixon for Charlevoix. He provided good coverage there over Mason Wilcox there in the field for the Boyne City Ramblers. Man, Dennis, I'm looking at this replay. Thank goodness Boyne City has it. Look at that. A clear 5-6 feet over Wilcox's head for Boyne City there.
Yeah, that wasn't even close. So that first possession for Boyne City is somewhat, lackluster, going pretty much 4 and out. Charlevoix is going to get the ball back here pretty quick.
Pretty good field position, but a deep boot indeed there by Boyne City. Dribbles out at the 35-yard line, so that's where Charlevoix will have it.
Well, you got to wonder, Patrick Sterrett was back for Charlevoix, and it looked like the punter didn't want anything to do with giving him the ball. So I can't imagine why. Why would that be that they wouldn't want to see Sterrett pick up that punt?
You know, I can't think of any success that Sterrett has had on those punt
Yeah,
returns.
I'd
My
keep it
goodness.
away from him too.
I think Boyne City is a little more cognizant of those types of plays compared to our recent opponents that we've played against, so they're certainly going to keep guard of Sterrett for sure tonight.
Ball's on the 34-yard line, going to be 1st and 10 for your Charlevoix Raiders.
Just in the pocket. Quick handoff immediately to Sterrett. He works up the center, goes to the sideline. Now he breaks away and gets a good 20 yards on the, well, about 16 or so on the play there, right up to midfield. And it was tackled by about 3 different Boyne City Ramblers there. He was finally able to be brought down. So good first drive for Charlevoix.
Yeah, how many times have we seen that end around with Sterrett? Again, we've talked about his peripheral vision and his ability to see the whole field all at once and pick out those holes. And, again, that's a great example. 1st and 10, well, the first time the Charlevoix Raiders had their hands on the ball, so you can't complain about that.
No. Just getting ready to go here in the pocket. Takes the ball, hand up again. This time he'll keep it. Gets about 4 yards or so on the play. We'll take it, Gradual movements up the field never hurts as long as we can get past that stick.
You got to wonder, game plan-wise, first possessions here, first snaps, Charlevoix keeping the ball on the ground. I'm going to have to guess, typically if you're making some yardage on the ground, you're going to keep it with the ground and maybe, slip in a pass or 2 here or there. But so far, Charlevoix keeping the ball on the ground, picking up some good yardage. Ball's over on the Boyne City side of the field, which is always a good thing to say.
Yeah, I like the way the first drive is going here, guys.
Just hands it off to, looks like Sterrett. Can't quite make out the number from this distance.
think he gave it to Herzog.
Herzog, okay. Well, good thing. Good thing you were able to see it. Yeah, we'll see it here on the replay. Yep.
Actually, no, that was Starrett that came in the jet motion, took the jet sweep.
So it looks like he's only able to gain about 3 or 4 yards there, so it looks like it'll be a 3rd and short coming up for the Raiders.
Yeah, the O-line on that last play didn't look like they gave him much space to run in, so we'll see if they can't fix that.
Jets this time does hand it off to number 5. That's he kept it. I apologize there. Brady just kept it, and he was able to roll across the line, gain a down there, first down at the Boyne City Rambler 40-yard line.
Yeah, that just, I think, presents a challenge to any defense. Just the fact that a lot of defenses probably are keying on Starrett, maybe Swanson, and then that Brady can kind of pop out of nowhere and pick up like he did on that last play, 5-10, picking up that first yard. That's just one more facet to the Charlevoix offense.
Here we go, Jess taking the snap again. He does hand it off this time, and once again met with a stout Boyne City defense there. The biggest jam pile we've seen against the Raiders as Henry Herzog tried to take it up the field. They're only gained about 2.
One thing that really stands out early on in this game, Dennis and Shane, is the size disparity between the Raider offensive line and the Boyne City defensive line. Watch the Boyne City defensive line try to shoot right at the ankles of the Raider offensive linemen because that's their only play they have.
Jess once again with the handoff. Once again, not much gain there, only about a yard or so, if that. Once again, we don't have the greatest camera angle there as Henry Herzog tried to march it up the field a little.
Well, they're trying to work something in the middle of that Boyne City defensive line, and the last few plays that has not been that productive. So look them to bounce it back outside. Looks like it might be though a passing situation for the Raiders. So we'll see it. Looks like third and about probably 8.
Yeah, long 8 looks to be there. Raider on Boyne City Ramblers 38-yard line.
You got to imagine here that they might be in 4-down territory, given if they get a significant amount of this 8 yards.
Just looking to throw it this time. Rears back, sends one upfield, and it'll be well over a shot of Hudson Vollmer there. So Raiders coming up with a 4th and 8.
Yeah, and he wasn't even open out there. It was good coverage by Boyne City down the sideline. And that ball I think that was almost a semi-intentional pass by Jesser, so he didn't get caught in the backfield. But that ball was well out of bounds, and out of bounds safely, I would add, which brings up a 4th and 8. And what is Charlevoix going to do in this situation? I think, Charles, you might be right there. Field position isn't all that bad. And looks like they're going to go for it. 4th down and 8 yards to go.
See what Jess and company
so if you pick up a couple yards, you're okay with it.
Yeah, first big play of the game for Charlevoix.
Jess ring back once again. Fires up. It'll be short. Catch was made by Troy Nickel for the Raiders, but there's a flag on the play there.
I'm going to say usually these calls go on the defense.
I think the receiver was signaling pass interference, and that's the call that we get. So with the pass interference penalty, that'll be enough for a Raider first down.
Well, we'll take the break that we can get it. A huge conversion there on what would have been a turnover on downs as the Raiders were about 3 yards short. So we'll take the first down. All right, that'll move the chains down to the Boyne City 30-yard line for the Raiders to have a fresh set of downs.
It's actually going to put it at the 24.
Better yet.
Yeah.
1st and 10 at the 24-yard line. Raiders with a nice little sustained offensive advancement here, helped out by that last penalty, which kind of saved their keister a little bit because they didn't have the first down, so that penalty came in was very timely for the Raiders and keeping this drive alive, right?
Definitely. The last couple of games, Charlevoix's had their fair share of penalties working against them. Thankfully, we haven't met in too stiff a competition as Jess hands it up the middle there once again. Herzog takes it, gets about 5 yards or so, brings it to the Rambler 20. But for once, Charlevoix had a penalty from the opposers that helped them out, got him a good first down, and now more yardage as we at least are within field goal range with the foot that Pearl has. He can most certainly get a field goal from here.
You got to imagine that Pearl's, as soon as they cross the 20, it's, pretty much good.
Yeah. Here we go, Jess, with the handoff. Oh, no. Yep. The handoff once again. I apologize there. Henry Herzog kept it. He gets up to the 15th. That'll be enough to move the chains one more time as the Raiders continue to advance up the field. Putting it, well, they'll spot it at the Boyne City Rambler 14-yard line. So Raiders just keep marching that ball methodically up the field, not seeming to be in too much of a hurry, just slowly working that Rambler defense a bit.
I don't remember Herzog being, that integral a part as a running back, but he's gotten the last 3 or 4 carries. He's kind of a north and south runner, but kind of a big kid, and Boyne City's having trouble stopping him. So 1st and 10, Charlevoix.
There's a good keep by Brady Jess, and a really good job by that outside defensive end for Boyne City to string that one out and not bite on the fake, as you see on the replay here. It's this standing up 9 technique for Boyne City.
Jess was only able to get about 3 yards or so on that play. We see a good low hit there. Looks like by number 3, Ryan Spate for the Ramblers, as well as number 2, Joey McHugh, were both there to stop the run. So the Raiders, second, they'll give them a long 9 there. Working from the 14, a little pitch over to Sterrett. He's got plenty of field to work with. Evades one tackle and gets past another. Finally brought out at the 10-yard line. Another flag hits the ground.
Well, Sterrett was able to get around the corner to some extent. Be interesting to see what the call is here. They have always had Charlevoix all success with him going on the outside. He's not kind of an up front runner down the middle. He's more trying to make those edges kind of get around the corner, and he did to some extent there, but we'll see what this penalty is for.
Got a holding on the Raiders, unfortunately.
That's tough. That's tough.
And I'll move it back 15.
10. So while we get a chance to make mention of this, if you see down there on the bottom left-hand corner of the screen is the Professional Seamless Gutters text-in hotline. You can shoot us a text. We'll read your text wherever you're watching from. Your favorite Raider player. Also use that number to vote for the Culver's Butterburger Basket Player of the Game. So obviously, wherever you're watching from, shoot us a text. That way you can communicate with us. And then, if your text makes the cut, we'll read it live on air.
We're a really selective group here, ladies and gentlemen,
Yeah.
to make them awfully good.
High class.
So here we go. Jess and company dealing with a 3rd and forever, 3rd and 20.
I'm Ryan Beningo, but you might know me for my business, Professional Seamless Gutters, where we specialize in, you guessed it, everything gutters. New installation, replacements, cleaning, leaf guards, rain chains, and much more. But unlike many service providers, when you call Professional Seamless Gutters, you get me, Orion, not some bum intern or call center recording. So when you're contemplating any services regarding the gutters on your home or pole barn, think Professional Seamless Gutters.
Well, here we are, ladies and gentlemen. We apologize there. Had a little bit of a connectivity issue. The feed cut out on us. We were able to get it restored and able to bring this back to you guys. Raiders are stuck with a 4th and 20 scenario here, so we'll see if the ball is on the 22-yard line on the Boyne City side. So we'll see if Pearl is able to kick one through the uprights and give the Raiders their first true field goal of the season.
Looks like third and about 14 to go for the Raiders. I was looking at the sticks there. It's got the
We have a timeout taken by Charlevoix. So with that, give us a quick moment to thank some of our sponsors. First off, we've got J. Arnold Painting and Cabinetry. Both Charlevoix and Elk Rapids, excuse me. One moment, got to flip through the pages here. You know what? While we try and find General Painting and Cabinetry, we'll go with Bingham Insurance. Running a small business can be risky, but one thing you can't leave the chance is your insurance coverage. Bingham Insurance wants to help keep you covered from the unexpected happening. That's Bingham Insurance Company, representing auto owners insurance. And with that, we have both units coming back out to the field now.
Yeah, I was right. 3rd and 20. The screen there failed to connect with the right down here, but big play here for Charlevoix to keep this one going.
Got a little. Oh, it must have a first. Looks like Boyne City is taking over now on the downs there. Raiders lost the ball. We have a little bit of a lag there in the feed, so we apologize for the little bit of a mess up there. We're getting everything fixed now. Feeds back to normal. Then hopefully we don't have that problem again for the rest of tonight. We have all of our scripts ready to go, so we'll hopefully, fingers crossed, have some smooth sailing here, as these teams haven't had too much of that so far here going into this game. Both drives have kind of sputtered out.
Yeah, Charlevoix unable to convert that 4th down, but that was quite a bit of yardage you had to make that for that first. So it's going to turn the ball back over to Boyne City, 1st and 10 on about the 25.5-yard line. But now we're seeing something marked off here.
They're going to back the Raiders up to the 20 there.
Ramblers.
Or excuse me, the Ramblers.
Yeah, both our words.
Yeah.
That's all right. So 1st and 10 for the Ramblers on the 20-yard line.
Yeah, I guess we've
Yeah,
got some pretty darn
that's
good camera views
Yeah, I'm
tonight.
not used to that drone stuff. That's pretty high tech.
That almost looks like a techno bowl kind of drone shot there. So once again, just updating everyone, the Raiders had a turnover on downs. So Boyne City is going to take over from the 20-yard line. At least that's where the ball's spotted currently. Got a lot of discussion going on tonight. So with that, we're going to step aside and hear from some of our good friends at Swanson K&D.
And here we are. Boyne City was able to get a quick 6 yards on their first down. So it'll be 2nd and 4 for them coming up here at their own, looks to be about 27-yard line. As Jack Neer and company get ready to take the ball once again. The handoff to number 2 there, Joey McHugh. He breaks away.
Can Sterrett catch him? He can.
He can't. My goodness.
Oh, that
the
was
legs of Sterrett there, able to save the touchdown, but gets him within the 10-yard line there. Looks like they'll be spotting the ball somewhere around the 9.
Well, Joey McHugh rattled off a really nice run there for Boyne City. Sterrett saved the day. Boyne City going to start this drive at about the 10-yard line for a unusual scoring opportunity for a Charlevoix opponent. The kid's got some speed there, but Sterrett was faster, and he got into the open field. Unfortunately for the Raiders, that one didn't result in 6, at least for right now.
That's the longest run that the Raiders have had against them so far this season, and of course it comes against their toughest opponent so far, Boyne City.
That's naturally about to happen, when you get playing, as you can see
at this
there,
level.
As you can see there, McHugh made a real nice cut there, made one man, or broke one tackle, and then Sterrett was able to use that natural speed to run him down. So.
Yeah, Boyne City is going to start 1st and 10 from the Charlevoix 10-yard line. Still in the first quarter. Still got about 4 minutes and 20 seconds to go.
They're going to give it second and 9.
2nd and 9. Okay.
So let's see if the Raiders defense can stiffen up here.
Jack Neer getting into position now. Cuts across. McHugh Well, this time McNear keep it, and he gets about 6 yards or so, brings it down to the 4-yard line there on the Raiders side. And ladies and gentlemen, you see there on the bottom of your screen from Boyne City Network there, they've got all their texts coming in supporting their players. So make sure you blow up our hotline there to make sure that your players get the credit that they deserve from their family members here on our broadcast tonight.
Yeah, nice tackle there by Landon Swanson, able to get near down on the ground before he was able to get into the end zone. Or that probably would have been a easy walk-in touchdown if Swanson isn't there to greet him. Ball sits at the 4-yard line of the Raiders, 3rd and 4.
Big play here for the Raiders. Need to stop.
McHugh once again in back of Near.
My
Wow. Goodness.
Landon Swanson read that like a nursery school book, and he shot the gap of that pulling guard. Watch this guard pull. Swanson's going to go right off the back hip of this pulling guard.
This could be one of the
there's the motion. They pull the guard, and Swanson just shoots the gap.
That could be one of the most explosive plays that we've seen.
That was a great hit. 16 tackles last week against Tawa. 16, count them. And here he makes a huge play. What do we got here? 3rd down and a goal to go? No, they can make a 1st down yet, looks like.
So they're going to say that there was a penalty on the play, and it's not 1st and 1. It's still 3rd and 1. So I believe they're going to say that there was a 5-yard penalty on the Raiders. So 3rd and 1 from the 2. Boyne City can still get a 1st down.
It'd be great to have a second repeat of Swanson there. He tries to get in, but this time Near is able to work around the corner, and he'll get a Boyne City touchdown.
Yeah, so the Boyne City faked that dive up the middle. You'll see it right here. Fake it to McHugh. Swanson has to bite hard and take away the give read to McHugh. Near is able to keep it, and he gets around the edge. Number 14, Calcaterra for Boyne City did a real good job of sealing the edge, and the Raiders weren't able to contain Near going around the far side of the field. So that puts Boyne City up 6-0.
So that'll end Charlevoix's historic streak of 18 scoreless quarters here so far this season. As Near, the quarterback and the kicker, it looks to be, kicks a beautiful field goal. And with that, we'll cut to a quick commercial break and come right back with Charlevoix's next.
Bartlett's Home Interiors is your hometown home furnishing store, serving northern Michigan since 1950. Your perfect fit is waiting for you here. Among our large selection of furniture, flooring, Serta mattresses, and Hunter Douglas window treatments, our experienced staff can help with the details that are important to you to transform your space. Come explore our 35,000 square foot showroom today or visit us at bartlettshomeinteriors.com. Bartlett's Home Interiors, where you're always at home. M66 North, Charlevoix.
Calling the game.
All right, so welcome back in. Raiders find themselves down 7-0, but that's going to give us some time to thank some of our sponsors for tonight's game. I want to thank our friends at Professional Seamless Gutters. Hey, your home gutters are always there when you need them to be, and so is our good friend Orion Beningo, and that's why he started Professional Seamless Gutters. But wait, there's more. They'll actually answer your phone call when you give them a call, and that's more than enough reason to call them. Call them Professional Seamless Gutters at 989-619-3407. Shane Near getting ready to boot this one away for the Boyne City Ramblers. Deep back for the Raiders is Patrick Sterrett. Let's see what Charlevoix can muster up on their second possession of the game.
Well, Charlevoix in very unfamiliar territory, not only being scored on for the first time in a while, but they're behind.
Yeah.
So we'll see how the Raiders take a gut punch and see if they can counterpunch Boyne City here.
Well, at the moment, we've got Sterrett running all the way in the backfield. Had to run parallel along the sidelines and was only able to get a few yards there on the play. Got to about the 20-yard line, and that's where the Raiders will start here in a minute. But that was a deep kick by Boyne City. It pushed them all the way back to the 5-yard line.
Yeah, so not only is Pearl for the Raiders a good kicker, Boyne City's got a great kicker. Like you said, Sterrett picked that up at about the 5, and he ran probably 40 yards just to get another 15. So, he's going to be a little tuckered out from that. But good pursuit by Boyne City. Brings Sterrett down for a pretty average for him run back here on the kickoff.
We'll give credit where credit's due. That was number 18, Ryan Reynolds, that was able to get the tackle on Sterrett for the Boyne City Ramblers. So here we go. Brady Jess trying to see what he can do against the Ramblers. And so far the ball only gains a couple of yards there at best, as he was met up by number 55 for Boyne City. That's Connor Rakovich, another senior on a pretty senior-heavy squad for Boyne City. One thing that Charlevoix does not have, only 4 seniors for the entire team.
Well, Boyne City comes into this game. We were talking. You had to expect that streak for Charlevoix being unscored on that we ran since the East Jordan game was going to come to an end somewhere along the line. And you could also tell at this level, I mean, we're talking a team in the top 10, the next level up from Charlevoix. So these guys didn't get there by some kind of drawing.
Right.
I mean, they earned their way up there. So we knew this was going to be a dogfight right from the get-go.
Just with the throw off to the sideline.
Intercepted.
By
Oh.
number
that's
14,
Calcaterra
Gavin
taking-
Hewitt there.
Yeah.
Pick 6.
Wow. That was totally unseen. If we get to see the replay here, trying to get it out to Waha in the flat, and he read that all the way, trying to get a little screen out to number 2, Hudson Vollmer. And wow, what a really good read by the cornerback to jump that route. And that's where you get from film study right there. You shed the block, you watch a lot of film, watch a lot of tape, and you get a result like that.
Well, that defender was in a great position. He was halfway between Vollmer and Waha, standing there waiting for just a throw to one or the other. So he had that one guy, had two receivers covered, and unfortunately for the Raiders, that ended up for another 7 points. Charlevoix in a little bit of a hole here in the first quarter, 14-0.
So with that, Raiders will come back with another drive here in just a moment.
Charlevoix State Bank was founded in 1994 to provide exceptional local service to our northern Michigan community. With 6 locations in Charlevoix, East Jordan, Boyne City, Ellsworth, and Beaver Island, we're here to make banking easy right here in your neck of the woods with people you know. Charlevoix State Bank believes in the positive lessons of high school athletics and is a proud sponsor of tonight's game.
Well, we're back in. Boyne City up 14-0 over their county rival, Charlevoix Red Raiders, your Red Raiders. And we want to thank some of our friends at Just Wooden Steel. Michiganders, we like to have our outdoor toys, meaning our 4x4s, ATVs, side-by-sides, campers, trailers, and much more. Often we don't consider how to store those vehicles, but Just Wooden Steel makes it easy with pole barns, metal frames, and sheds built to your specifications. When choosing a company to build your pole barn or enclosure, go with what's real. Go with Just Wooden Steel. And our friends at J. Arnold Painting and Custom Cabinetry. J. Arnold Painting was founded in 1994 and has been an industry leader ever since, boasting an experienced staff that has seen and has painted almost everything. Home exteriors, interiors, fine trim, and finish work. J. Arnold Painting is only one phone call away from getting you one step closer to completing your dream home. Call them at 231-547-0540. Raiders getting their third offensive opportunity of the game, as we just saw. Little kick return, fielded right around the 25-yard line. A squib kick as Ryan Pearl fielded that one and brought it back out to about the 25. Boyne City making a concentrated effort to keep the ball out of Patrick Sterrent's hands tonight.
Yeah, I think this is a huge possession for our Raiders. They cannot afford to go down one more score here. So I think, I hate to say there's a critical portion of this game just in the first quarter, but I think this is darn close to saying that.
Well, it's not only critical for the whole team, but it's critical to test the mettle of Brady Jess, because that's only his third interception of the season and resulted in a touchdown. So let's see what he can do here. Flicks it away to Sterrett as he was just about to avoid the tackle there, and Sterrett gets some good yardage up to the 35. So that'll be just about enough there to move the chains. Thank goodness for the quick action of Brady Jess there.
He couldn't have held that ball one more second.
No.
One more half second, he would have ate it. But a nice pitch back to Sterrett. Sterrett makes the corner and for a nice gain on first down.
Yeah, you're looking to give him 9 yards on first down.
9 yards, okay. So with that, Jess and company, after quick thinking, were able to save what would have been a major loss. Got good 9 yards on the play, so let's see if they can convert here. Just looking for a man open. This time throws it down.
Wow.
And it's
Nice
caught by
grab.
Waha. Yep. across the midfield, 45-yard line now for the Raiders on Boyne City territory.
Perfect pass and catch there. That was a huge pickup. I think, it's real easy to kind of get your morale kind of dinged coming up. Charlevoix's never been in this spot before this season. I think that pass reception there was huge in more ways than one.
Well, the Raiders have spotted Boyne City 14 points, so we'll see what they can call here to take advantage of the Boyne's aggressive defense. You can really see Boyne's corners playing pretty tight on Raider receivers, especially down here at the bottom of the screen on Waha. So we'll see how Charlevoix likes to counterattack that as they toss here to Swanson. Gets a nice block on the edge, but a great shoestring tackle made on the outside, the perimeter. That was a nice play, Shane and Dennis. Tackle made by Alex Calcaterra for the Ramblers. And if he doesn't make that play, Swanson's probably going to pick up another first down.
And typically it takes a lot more than just a shoestring grab to bring Swanson down, so they were awfully lucky there. And with another timeout called, we'll be right back after another message.
Wanted to try skydiving? This is Luther from Skydive Charlevoix. We specialize in first-time tandem skydiving and offer the best views in the entire Midwest. Jump from up to 2 miles high and free fall as fast as 120 miles per hour. Then, when the parachute opens, you can enjoy a peaceful canopy ride back to the landing area. Skydive Charlevoix also offers a scenic flight with every tandem jump. Enjoy an amazing bird's-eye view of Grand Traverse Bay, Little Traverse Bay, Beaver Island, and the entire northern Michigan shoreline. It's easy to book your jump online at skydivecharlevoix.com. That's skydivecharlevoix.com.
Located in Charlevoix, Michigan, is Martin Concrete, where they specialize in residential concrete construction, providing high-quality concrete work and guaranteeing customer satisfaction. They're proud to serve Charlevoix and the surrounding areas. No job is too big or too small for Martin Concrete, with services ranging from concrete slabs, footings, driveways, retaining walls, and much more. There's nothing that Martin Concrete can't do regarding concrete. That's Martin Concrete, online at martinconcretecharlevoix.com or give them a call at 231-838-9610. Okay, welcome back to second quarter action. Charles Strail along with Shane Smith, Dennis Helverson. We're going to thank some more of our sponsors tonight. Want to thank our friends at Skydive Charlevoix. And Skydive Charlevoix is calling all thrill seekers, adventure enthusiasts, and everyone in between to think Skydive Charlevoix for your next adventure. We're going to hear for the rest of them right after this play as Raiders get stuffed along their own on the Rambler 44-yard line as we get a replay here.
Well, it seems like so far, guys, that Boyne City owns the interior line. You look at this play again, and there is absolutely nothing, no space. A fly couldn't get through that defensive line right there. So look for Charlevoix maybe to break this open a little bit in the air or try a stare for some end arounds, but Charlevoix is not having any luck at all trying to run this thing up the gut.
Right, and the first drive, the Raiders had some success running it right down the middle, but they weren't able to cash that in for any points. So we got a big 3rd and 11 here.
Big 3rd and 11. Raiders on the Boyne City 45, trying to get that ball moved, and no avail whatsoever there. Raiders get taken down right at midfield, so that'll result in a 4th and forever. Raiders will have to kick it, unfortunately.
I think there was a fumble, actually, and I think there's a scrum for it right now.
Oh, yep, there's the pop.
We'll see who came up with it at the bottom of the pile. It looks like Boyne City. So it's going to be Boyne City ball. I think if one of the Ramblers was able to get back onto that, an excellent play made in the backfield. It was Will Brown who shot the gap of the Raiders, and Will Brown made that play right there in the backfield. And it looks like Boyne City was not able to get the ball back as Ryan Perlson sent that one away, so the Raiders fortunate to get back on that fumble.
Well, yeah. You got to give Boyne City credit for their toughness, and of course Boyne City, their broadcasting system here for their camera angles, but my goodness, some of those are hard, especially when you're trying to watch a ball be picked out when you're looking from the entire other end of the end zone. So, ladies and gentlemen, they may have a little bit more fancy of a setup, but we provide some great on-field action. I tell you what, you can see everything with us. There's no doubt about it.
Well, I think the Raiders lucked out on that last play, just based on the slow-mo replay of that. Looked like Boyne City had the best shot at it, and somehow Charlevoix was able to eke out possession and at least give Boyne City a little worse field position as they take the ball again here in the very first part of the second quarter.
Yeah, Raiders need a turnover.
So Boyne City stuffed back to their own 17, near looking for somebody to throw to. He does connect with Gavin Hewitt, but he's brought down at, looked like about the 25-yard line there.
Yeah, Boyne City, pretty impressive. They look like big kids. Well coached. They seem to react to Charlevoix' successes and tend to shut those down as soon as, Charlevoix might do one or two of them. But after that, Boyne City looks very well coached and able to react to any scheme that Charlevoix's thrown at them, at least so far.
Well, unfortunately for us, they're certainly living up to their top 10 ranking in Division 6 so far. So here we go. 2nd and 3 for the Ramblers. Near with the keeper this time, runs up the side, evades a couple of tackles, and then finally gets taken down by Max Dixon for the Raiders. But my goodness, he was hopping, skipping, and jumping all over us.
Yeah, he
there.
was hard. He kept those legs churning, picking up extra yards. Pretty good athlete, and kind of having his way there with some of those would-be tacklers from the Raiders side of the football here.
Well, so the Ramblers pick up 2 first downs to begin their drive here with the ball just a couple minutes into the second quarter. It's going to be imperative for Charlevoix to get a stop, at least to put them into a 3rd and long situation where they're forced to make a play. Right now, Boyne City feeling really comfortable with everything they want to do.
Number 3, able to run it up the middle for Boyne City. That's Ryan Spate, sophomore for the team. He was able to get a good 6 yards or so there on the play before he was finally brought down by the Raiders. Camera cut there, couldn't quite make out the number.
He got about 5 yards on the carry. However, while we get a little bit of a break in the action, we're going to thank some of our people from texting in and hitting us up on the Professional Seamless Gutters text-in line. Phone's been blowing up here, so we want to get caught up with some of the people who wanted to chime in and say hello. We're going to text saying number 33, Josh Schultz, is a beast. Also support for the Swanson family from their family watching in East Jordan. A lot more Swanson family tuning in as Near's going to take off and scramble. Nice play, but he's able to pick up a Boyne City Rambler first down.
Especially after being met in the gut there by A.J. Spiegel. He launched right into him, and Near was just able to tumble over and get another 2 yards or so just by rolling over Spiegel and was finally taken down there. Just goes to show the athleticism of a senior quarterback right now, doing everything for Boyne City, running, passing, everything. He's just a one-man show for them at the moment.
Well, he saw that opening just like, Moses saw there in that river and just took advantage. He had 8 feet of opening there up the middle and thought, what the heck, I'm going to run this baby. I'm not looking to pass it. So, again, another first down for Boyne City.
Handoff once again, this time to Joey McHugh, and he'll break away for a big gain. Gets down to the Rayder about 37.
Well, Charles, Boyne City just seems to be beating Charlevoix off the ball.
Well, if you watch the offensive line here for Boyne, the line of scrimmage that they set was 3 yards down the field. So their 5 offensive linemen initially pushed the Raider defensive line back 3 yards. So when you can initially establish that line of scrimmage 3 yards down the field, your running back's not going to get touched. He didn't get touched until there was 5 yards downfield. And that's what's really allowed McHugh to have those big gash plays. It was McHugh earlier in this game that had the big chunk play on the Raiders. So defense got to tighten the screws a little bit, stop the bleeding.
McNear and company with a fresh set of downs, and here we go.
They're going to get a timeout taken by Boyne City, and as Boyne City takes that timeout, we're going to thank some of our friends. We're going to thank our friends at Martin Concrete. Hey, you have a timetable to complete your project. Expect prompt service, and that's where our friends at Martin Concrete come into play. They cater to your schedule. Whether you're a homeowner or business owner, your satisfaction is their primary concern. That's Martin Concrete at 231-838-9610. Martin Concrete, a proud sponsor of tonight's game. And also want to thank our friends at the Charlevoix State Bank. Listen, Charlevoix State Bank is your only local community bank headquartered right here in Charlevoix County. With branches in Charlevoix, Boyne City, East Jordan, Ellsworth, and Beaver Island, they're always ready to help serve their neighbors and friends. Charlevoix State Bank, always a proud sponsor of tonight's game in Charlevoix Raider football. So, getting back to the text-in line, we got the Jess family tuning in and watching from Livonia. So the Jess family tuning in from Livonia wanted to say hello. Some more Swanson family texting in from Maryland saying, let's go, Landon. Getting some support for the Herzog brothers from their aunt watching in Colorado. So we're getting a lot of support hitting that text-in line.
Near rolling out to the side looking for a man open. He finds it in Ryan Spate once again, and he's able to get another good yardage play. Ramblers just beating up the Raiders at the moment, both in running and passing. Boyne City beating Charlevoix in yardage about 3-1 at the moment, as we see a low grab there in the replay.
Well, that was the first
Spate.
pressure that Charlevoix has been able to put on that quarterback and made him rush a little bit, but he found an open receiver so he can, he's got some capabilities as a physical kid, but so far, Charlevoix's got to start to stand tall here. They can't go down, I don't think, 21-0 to this team.
So the Boyne City Ramblers have it. The Raiders' 24-yard line. Near takes it. Flicks it off to 14. Gavin Hewitt once again. He runs out to the sideline. Is finally brought down by A.J. Spiegel there.
Oh, what a stiff arm to the face. Did you see that?
Yeah, those are tough to come back from. I tell you what, you get a stiff arm right to the helmet, and it's really hard to try and wrap up and make a tackle.
So we do have a flag there on the field.
So that's going to be a hold against the Ramblers. That will back them up 10 yards. So that's just
Huge.
what the doctor ordered for the Raiders. So it'll be 1st and 20 from the Raider 35-yard line as Boyne City began this possession right around their own 15. So
Yeah, that was a big call.
a pretty successful drive so far for the Ramblers. Gets backed up 10 yards. And we'll see how the Raider defense reacts to this. I would imagine at some point in time here, Dennis and Shane, that they're going to have to start bringing some pressure and putting some pressure on quarterback Near for the Ramblers.
Well, it looks like at the moment the Raiders will need every yard of that 20 yards in order to make an efficient stop. So let's see what they're able to do. Near hands it off right away to McHugh once again. He's only able to gain about 3 yards on the play, broken up by looks like Herzog and
Well, Spiegel got knocked right on his dupa.
Yeah.
I mean, he got pasted there in the attempted tackle.
I mean, it's definitely something that you really need to pack a lunch when you're attempting to tackle some of these Boyne City running backs as we get a look at the Boyne City homecoming court here. But you can just see on the left-hand side there how many people are actually at this game, from the Boyne City side. They're probably not going to show the Charlevoix side, but we're getting some reports that the Charlevoix sideline is absolutely jammed.
as it should be. Biggest game of the year. Here we go. Near looking for a man. Rolls out. Fires. And looks like he's able to connect there with number 3, Ryan Spate, once again for the Ramblers. What a young, talented sophomore they have there in Spate.
Yeah, it was a good catch.
Yeah. He's had a couple massive catches so far this game. Able to grab one there right off the deck.
Yeah, and Boyne City kind of employs those twin H-back looks out of the shotgun or the pistol. And Spate there just kind of went right from that right-hand side, ran a little skinny post or a seam route, and Near found him right in the center of the Raider coverage.
Yeah, 1st and 10 for Boyne City on about the, 17-yard line.
Raiders needed that stop, couldn't get it. Again, we've got McHugh running up again. Couldn't get too much there, only about 4 or 5, but Raiders just allowing those 4 or 5-yard leaks every time, and Boyne City just able to capitalize, keep moving that ball slowly, methodically down the field, and beating up the Raiders' defense at the moment.
You know, it's the combination of the line play right now for the Boyne City offensive line, between Will Brown, Connor Rakovich, also Noah Little, doing a lot of damage on the right side of that Boyne City offensive line. Raiders showing 4 down linemen and 4 linebackers. So we'll see as Boyne City is going to toss up a fade route to the corner, and it's incomplete.
That was a funny pass, wasn't it?
Yeah, they were just trying to throw a high point fade to the big man, Alex Calcaterra, on the near side of the end zone. Got a little bit too much air underneath that one. Really good coverage by Max Dixon. Actually,
he should have had it.
Max Dixon could have made the interception there, and if anything, Calcaterra played a little bit more of a defensive back.
Yep.
Max Dixon did a real good job of undercutting that pass, able to break it up.
Now, Calcaterra also one of their star basketball players when that season comes along. So he's quite an athlete, and he's pretty tall.
Raiders able to dodge one bullet. So far, they let Near get away, and he gets another 8 yards or so. See if they'll give him the first down.
Well, he lost his feet there, slipped on the turf. because I think he had end zone all over that
I
one.
believe we've got another penalty marker down in the Rambler backfield. So a holding. I think they're going to get their right tackle for a hold. Raiders brought a blitz off the short side of the field, and the Boyne City right side of that offensive line wasn't able to hold up.
You see that quarterback, and the blockers don't know exactly which way he's going, and so it's difficult to block that play because that one wasn't drawn up. So it's not unusual to see a hold just because that blocker's at a distinct disadvantage because he's not sure where the play is going.
Yeah, you're not really used to your quarterback scrambling like that.
So the Raiders able to get 3 breaks now, 2 holding penalties, and the missed throw there into the end zone. Need to capitalize here on a long 3rd down.
And we've got another pause of play.
Another flag.
As we're going to step aside and take a quick break. Tonight's game has been brought to you by Professional Seamless Gutters, Charlevoix State Bank, J. Arnold Painting, Bingham Insurance Services, Fresh Coast Sliders, J. Arnold Custom Cabinetry, Bartlett's Home Interiors, Swanson K&D, Just Wood and Steel Sales.
So here we are, Ramblers at 3rd and 25, and we've got another flag on the play. This time it'll be against the Raiders.
Yeah, Near went with the hard count and got a free 5 yards back against the Raiders. That's a tough one. Boyne City just had a 10-yard penalty go against them, and they get a free 5 back.
It looked like Herzog jumped off. He kind of tried to. He bought on the hard count.
Right.
And going to rip off a 5-yard penalty for our Raiders.
It's still a 3rd and 20. So we'll see what the Raiders elect to do here on a 3rd and long. Do they bring some pressure or kind of drop back in coverage? Also interesting to see what Boyne City's thinking here. Are they thinking they're in 4-down territory, or they want to give a field goal opportunity to their kicker?
Big defensive play here for the Charlevoix Raiders. They need to stop here really bad.
And a timeout taken by the Boyne City sideline just before they're able to get that play off. So with that, we're going to thank some more of our sponsors tonight, as we got a lot of people tuning in to watch this one live. If you're tuning in wherever you're watching from in the country, make sure you text into that Professional Seamless Gutters text-in line. It's on the bottom left of your screen. You can see it there, 231-350-9040. And while you're at it, listen to us tell you a little bit about Fresh Coast Sliders. They're located in the back lot in Charlevoix. For hamburger sliders, it's the taste intersection of savory and gourmet. They offer a wide variety. Fresh Coast has something for everyone. Check them out online at fcsliders.com, and then we'll meet you at Fresh Coast Sliders. Also, Bartlett's Home Interiors. Since 1950, the best selection of furniture, flooring, Serta mattresses, and Hunter Douglas window treatments has been at Bartlett's. Bartlett's Home Interiors is the name you can trust with the brands you need. See for yourself at their 35,000 square foot showroom in Charlevoix or online at bartlettshomeinteriors.com. 3rd and 20 from the Boyne City High School ball on the Rayder 24. Shane, Charles Strail, Dennis Helverson. Big play for the Raiders here.
Oh, big play. I mean, this is a must stop for the Raiders to have any sort of a chance in keeping some or getting some momentum going instead of going down 3 touchdowns so far. So we'll see what Near has to come up with. Looking for a man open. He fires down the field to
wide
open. Number 14, Gavin Hewitt there for the Ramblers, and they bring it all the way down to the Raider 5-yard line.
So Boyne City ran trips into the far side of the field there, ran some seam routes, and you see the laps in the zone coverage for the Raiders and put it right on the money. If it's a better throw, that's probably a touchdown. So we're going to have a 4th and 2 from the 5. Boyne City up 14-0. I wouldn't be surprised if they elect to take the field goal here, gentlemen.
Yeah, they get it on the 6-yard line. 4th and 3. Yep.
Looks like they're lining up to go for it.
Huge play here for Charlotte.
I wouldn't be surprised to see a hard count.
Well, if we were Boyne City, I would imagine to go for it here. Let's see. Near's got it, rolls out to the side, throws open, and caught there.
And they
caught in the back of the end zone. That was Alex Calcaterra making the big-time snag, and that was a 4th and 3. Man, that's just tough really good throw from near to put that one in the position where Calcaterra was able to go up and get it.
Yeah, they took advantage of Calcaterra's height on that, which way at the back of the end zone. I'd like to see the replay on that. That was darn close, but that was a great pass to the tallest guy in the field probably. I'm thinking he's 6'5".
Yeah, he's pushing 6'5" for sure, and he's definitely made his appearance in the red zone as they've already targeted him a couple times in the red zone, 2 times on this most recent drive. Actually, one might have been able to be intercepted by Max Dixon.
We can see twice that quarterback feels that they have, or the offensive scheme here feels they have an advantage with Calcaterra going into the end zone and because of his height. And you think they've practiced that play or pass once or twice this week? I would have to guess yes.
Sure. So as that Boyne City goes up 21-0, we're going to step aside and be right back after this. Tonight's game has been brought to you by Professional Seamless Gutters, Charlevoix State Bank, J. Arnold Painting, Bingham Insurance Services, Fresh Coast Sliders, J. Arnold Custom Cabinetry, Bartlett's Home Interiors, Swanson K&D, Just Wood and Steel Sales and Design Center, Martin Concrete, Skydive Charlevoix, CarQuest Auto Parts, Big B Coffee, Northwest Heating and Air, WB Builders, Charlevoix Agency Insurance, Culvers of Charlevoix, Beaver Island Boat Company, Market Technologies Incorporated, Charlevoix Sewer and Drain Cleaning, Site Planning and Development. Thank you for your support. We hope you have enjoyed tonight's game.
Okay. And here we are after Boyne City getting their 3rd touchdown against the Raiders, about ready to kick it off. So far, the Raiders just haven't been able to scrounge up anything against Boyne City's defense. They had one fairly decent drive on their second drive. We got a little flick over to Sterrett there, trying to get something to go up the side. He's able to break away at the moment, gets across the 40, now midfield, and that's where he'll be brought down about the Boyne City Rambler 48-yard line.
Well, score before the half would be huge here for the Raiders. They're got to be back on their heels at this point, looking at 21-0 deficit, which they've been nowhere close to that so far this year. But you got to hand it to Boyne City. That was a great play by a couple of great athletes. We'll take a look at this again. I mean, he gets his foot down there. You look at it, there is an inches to spare, but he's probably 6'5". He probably goes up, close to 10 feet to bring this one down, just like the rim on the backboard in basketball. Watch him go up here for that and bring that pass back down. We don't have anybody that can match that kind of length and athleticism.
So Jess, right at midfield now, gets the handoff to Vollmer. He's trying to get something out of it, but instead gets pushed back 2 yards. So that'll bring up a second and about 12 now for the Raiders back at their own territory at the 48.
Joey McKell, I think that's how you say it. Sorry, Joey, if your folks are listening to that, but he went back there and blew that one up. That Boyne City did not bite on any of the fakes for that one, and that's going to be a loss for Charlevoix on that possession.
Just throwing, and we can't quite. There he is. Number 11, Owen Waha there was able to get good position there, down to about the 30-yard line. So a big break here for the Raiders to get a nice first down after a second long. Jess was able to connect with a man wide open and thankfully resulted in
kind of an unorthodox pass. Did you see that?
Right, but I like the way that Jess was able to step into that throw. He stepped into that throw and put it right on the numbers.
Yep.
And that's what you got to do when you're trying to mount a comeback, as that one got tipped at the line of scrimmage. Good pressure by the Boyne City defensive front. That was, I believe, number 43 or 53 coming in for the Ramblers. It was either Chas Stanek or Leon Jiang.
I believe it was Chas Stanek there. And that's too bad for the Raiders because Sterrett was wide open. He could have had that touchdown.
If Sterrett catches that one in the flat, he more than likely eludes a defender.
So here we go. Cameras repositioned so we can see this near sideline a little bit better. Jess hands it off to Herzog, and he gets about 3 there on that play. So Raiders will be stuck with a 3rd and 7 at the Rambler 27-yard line. So a big conversion here needed for the Raiders.
And Shane, I've been really impressed with the ability of the Boyne City linebackers to shed blocks. You saw it right there. They had 2 linebackers just completely get around the block of Adam Streeter.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, their linebackers' ability to read blocks and also read guards Charlevoix likes to pull those guards. When you pull your guard, it kind of shows you where the play is going, and Boyne City linebackers doing a really good job of reading where the play is going.
Well, we talked about earlier on, Coach wasn't happy with the offensive, how long they were holding on to the block, and that was a good example there. Streeter probably let off a little too soon.
Well, there we are, just with the handoff to Sterrett. He was able to evade 3 different defenders and get that first down. That's what a godsend Sterrett is for our team. It's a thankful thing that we have him, as he was able to get that critical conversion on 3rd down and 7, able to move those chains up for the Raiders.
Well, we need something positive here. We haven't had anything go really great the whole first half. So looking at a $1:20 to go here in the first half.
Charlevoix will get the third quarter kickoff to begin the third quarter. So
be nice going in 21-7 as opposed to 21-zip. It has a better sound to it.
It does, doesn't it? Liking what the Raiders have been able to put together here, though.
Just with the handoff once again to Herzog. Able to scrape out about 4 or 5 there on the play. Just met with pretty much the entire Boyne City defense once again. Not able to get much scrounged up against him, but we'll take a few yards here and there when we can get him.
I don't remember our offensive scheme involving Herzog as much as it has this first half. Seems like Swanson not carrying the ball a whole lot, and Herzog is getting a lot of those reps.
Here we go once again. Trying to get that ball upfield.
Yeah, that was Patrick Sterrett on the jet sweep. He got to about the 8-yard line, but Boyne City really stacking the box here. So if you watch this replay, they're going to put about 8 defenders right at the line of scrimmage. Makes it really hard to run these type of jet sweeps, also right up the middle plays. Charlevoix is going to have to put something up in the air to make Boyne City defenders back up.
But it shows you the tenacity of Sterrett. I mean, he's not a big guy. He's about 5'10", and he took 5 guys to finally bring him down. Once again, just a crucial player for the Raiders to have at the moment as they try and dig up a touchdown before the end of the half. We have 38 seconds left to go here. Ramblers up over Charlevoix 21-0, as you can see there on the bottom of the screen. And as always, keep those texts coming in on that hotline.
Yeah, that's right. And as people keep funneling them in, we're going to keep reading them. We're getting a text, watching the Raiders on top of Brockway Mountain in Copper Harbor. That's Tom and Jody Bergman. So they sent in a picture where they're watching on top of the mountain.
That couldn't be a better place to watch a football game. My goodness.
That's a pretty good spot. However, it's a pretty good night in northern Michigan tonight if you're taking in a football game. Raiders here with 38 seconds left to go, trying to punch one in here. It's 3rd and 2. Also want to give a shout-out to Uncle Ron and Aunt Michelle from Brighton, Michigan. That's Uncle Ron and Aunt Michelle supporting the Jess family.
Thank you all for tuning in. Here we go. Raiders 3rd and 2. Jess needing to make another big conversion here. Throws out to the end zone, and that was tipped away and intercepted. Oh, my God.
Number
unbelievable. 14, Gavin Hewitt tipped it away. And who was that was able to grab it up there in the end zone?
I don't know, but the play was made by Hewitt. Hewitt was sitting there, and he got up there big time, and then Neer was able to track it and then brought it back in off the deflection. I mean, watch Hewitt get up here. This is next level stuff.
Getting a lot of next level plugs.
And that's an easy touchdown if Hewitt doesn't make that leaping deflection.
You got to give Neer credit there too. The one-handed grab was able to secure it as he was going down. Not what the Raiders needed, but incredible athleticism there shown by the Boyne City Ramblers.
I don't know. I can feel the Charlevoix side of this football field kind of deflated right now.
Yeah, that was a tough break as they were able to move the ball down the field and get it into scoring position. As looks like Boyne City is going to be relatively content to go in up 21-0 at half, and no team with any timeouts left. So looks like 21-0 is going to be our score at halftime here, gentlemen, and Raider Nation tuning in from wherever you're watching from.
I was just going to tell Tom up there in Copper Harbor, resist the temptation to trim any limbs up there.
Okay.
Because that's his trade.
Okay.
So
as a false start was called on Boyne City, I would imagine that after a false start there, Boyne City is going to be content to take this one in up 21-0 at half.
I'd have to agree. It's just Boyne City is telling Charlevoix at the moment, anything you can do, I can do better. I mean, this has just been beat up, and we had the opportunity there in the end zone, and for Hewitt to come up and tip it, and then Neer to come down with the one-handed grab, just shows the pure athleticism that Boyne has and really is outmatching Charlevoix in every way, shape, and form at the moment.
Yeah, I think at every position we've seen just the Boyne City abilities and capabilities athletically to, exceed the Charlevoix possibilities. I don't care if you're talking defense, offense, just we've seen some tremendous, obviously coaching. You can tell this is a well-practiced team, and they've got some, physical capabilities that we're just having trouble handling.
It sure seems that way. So we'll see what the Raiders have on tap. Coming out with the ball in the third quarter as they'll be getting the third quarter kick. With that, we're going to step aside, and when we come back, we'll be back with the Bingham Insurance halftime show right after this.
How many viewers on there?
Since 1994, J. Arnold Painting has been a Northern Michigan industry leader, but now they're offering you the same great service, but with custom-made, handcrafted cabinetry. You order it, and they build it. Everything is constructed and assembled right in Charlevoix and then delivered straight to your home. J. Arnold Custom Cabinetry takes pride in their elite-level craftsmanship and high emphasis on customer service. Contact them for more info. That's J. Arnold Custom Cabinetry at 231-547-0540. Tonight's game has been brought to you by Professional Seamless Gutters, Charlevoix State Bank, J. Arnold Painting, Bingham Insurance Services, Fresh Coast Sliders, J. Arnold Custom Cabinetry, Bartlett's Home Interiors, Swanson K&D, Just Wood and Steel Sales and Design Center, Martin Concrete, Skydive Charlevoix, CarQuest Auto Parts, Big B Coffee, Northwest Heating and Air, WB Builders, Charlevoix Agency Insurance, Culvers of Charlevoix, Beaver Island Boat Company, Market Technologies Incorporated, Charlevoix Sewer and Drain Cleaning, Site Planning and Development. Thank you for your support. We hope you have enjoyed tonight's game.
This November, the citizens of Charlevoix will have a choice to elect Dennis Halverson for mayor. On November 8th, choose leadership you can depend on. Vote Dennis Halverson.
Paid for by committee to elect Dennis Halverson, mayor.
Welcome in, everyone, to the Bingham Insurance halftime show. Charles Strail, joined by Dennis Halverson and Shane Smith. Charlevoix Raiders down to the Boyne City Ramblers tonight, 21-0. It's been a lot of different factors, kind of the perfect storm, if you will. Boyne City jumping out to an early lead. Charlevoix with a couple of turnovers. Boyne City with a couple of big chunk plays that we're not accustomed to seeing. But, gentlemen, what did you think of the first half? I mean, only being down 21-0, it really could have been worse.
Probably. Yeah. You can tell obviously that Boyne City very strong. They got some long, Calcaterra I think is just a handful, maybe two handfuls. It seemed like even after that first possession, Charlevoix was back on its heels. Not quite sure. The first time they've ever faced a team this year with this type of physicality that they've experienced, and getting blown off. We've seen our offensive line and defensive line just being blown back. This Boyne City team, I mean, they're the next level up from us, top 10 team, and I think, just looking at that first half, deservedly so. So.
Well, I mean, you've got huge playmakers for Boyne City. Near, Calcaterra, Hewitt, McHugh, all those guys really, just as you said, Dennis, unmatched compared to what Charlevoix. Normally, Swanson, he's able to just drive the ball right up the center. He's been met by all five of those center linemen. There's been no windows of opportunity allowed whatsoever. Sterrett cannot seem to get any sort of run put together whatsoever. He's always met. I mean, the Raiders have, just as you said, never seen such opposition before, and Boyne City really utilized it that week that they had off last week to gain some strength, gain some momentum, and make sure they had all their P's and Q's put together before they went against Charlevoix.
Well, one thing that I've noticed in the first half so far is that Boyne City is putting 8, sometimes 9 defenders in the box or right up near the line of scrimmage. They want to take away the quick handoff to Herzog into Swanson. Also want to have those guys up around the line of scrimmage so that way they can take away that quick jet sweep to Patrick Sterrett. So when you take away those two key plays of the Raider offense, Charlevoix, you don't get to see that patented double counter where they fake the handoff to the pistol back, bring Starrett around, hand it to him on that orbit motion, and they bring that. That's a staple of the Charlevoix Raider offense, one that offensive play coordinator Jim Alger loves to call. We haven't seen that one called tonight. Starrett has been able to shake loose, and on each of one of his runs, it seems like he's been avoiding 3, sometimes 4 some odd tacklers. One thing that Charlevoix needs to be able to do is they need to be able to execute some passing game. They need to really show some fluidity in their passing game execution in the second half to loosen up the defense that Boyne City's been playing. The scheme of that Boyne City defense has really kind of focused on taking the Raiders out of their run game, out of their running sets. The Raiders have been running it a lot on first down, not being able to pick up much yardage, which has been putting them back behind the chains, 2nd and 8s, 2nd and 9s, and then you're forced to throw on 2nd and 3rd down, and that's when Boyne City is able to pin their ears back, not really having to bring a lot of pressure, but when they've blitzed, they've gotten home with their defensive line and their middle linebackers.
Yeah, and it's.
I was just going to say, a couple times I almost started counting Boyne City players and making sure there was only 11 out there, because occasionally it seems like there's about 15 of them out there. They've got the gaps full. Their defense just is in the backfield. Like you said, they're not giving Starrett any space. They're not giving Jess any time to do some of those counters because they're in that backfield so quickly. And so they've got the coverage going deep. Brady's not able to find those open receivers like he has been up to this point, and we just haven't seen the time. Swanson got the ball maybe, once or twice?
Right.
I mean, that's kind of unusual. They seem to have went to Herzog. I don't know if that was a planned situation or what, but you can tell that Boyne City has been watching a lot of tape of Charlevoix, and probably last Friday night, the game was forfeited because of sickness in Kalkaska.
Right.
I'd have to guess their team came over to watch that game last week against Tawas.
The one play that really stood out that you mentioned to Boyne City watching a lot of film is the read that the cornerback made when Charlevoix tried to throw that quick little smoke screen or screen to Starrett as he came out of the backfield, and the defensive back read the block coming his way from Waha and just jumped the pass and ran it in for a touchdown. Other than that, Charlevoix on their opening possession marched it, got all the way down to the Boyne City 12-yard line, weren't able to punch it in. And so there were signs of life for the Raiders. We want to make note of that. I mean, their ability to move the ball, they've shown an ability to be able to move the ball. It's just about sustaining those drives and finishing those drives, which will obviously be huge for the Raiders' chances of mounting a second-half comeback here. Shane, I can see your wheels spinning there. What do you have to add on to that?
It just goes to show the difference between a senior and a sophomore quarterback. Not putting Jess down at all, but to have Near being a senior and having those extra years of experience, it just allows him to get those better reads downfield, get those better opportunities to throw, and make that read and good interception that he was able to grab there in the end zone against Brady Jess. I mean, Jess has had some good throws as we've seen, but just that I hate to use inexperience because he's got plenty of tenure under his belt now, but compared to a team of this strength, it's just something that he hasn't been able to see quite yet, and to get those opportunities downfield with such good coverage, it's really a learning curve for him, as we've seen 2 interceptions that he's thrown so far tonight, which ties the number of interceptions he's thrown all season.
Well, just looking at Boyne City, I think Jess has not felt comfortable back there all night. Where Near, I think, has felt very comfortable there in the back. I think they're having their way with their game plan. Charlevoix obviously right now isn't. I'd love to be a fly on the wall in the locker room right now, in both locker rooms right now. But if you're Coach Jess, okay, what do you come? Do you throw the playbook out the window? You kind of try to pass your way out of this. Be interesting to see how Charlevoix reacts to this coming out of the third, because they've only got they didn't show much ability to score that first half, and obviously that's where the coach's job is to make those adjustments and try to kind of brainstorm. Okay, the first half didn't work really well. What are we going to do the second half?
Sure. And a couple things to take away from that first half, one good, one bad. The good thing for Charlevoix is that Owen Waha has shown an ability to separate on the perimeter and get open, provide a secondary receiving threat in addition to Sterrett. The bad news is that Boyne City offensive line has been pushing back the Rayder defensive line 3-4 yards on pretty much every run play that they've had a mano-a-mano block. Those Boyne City offensive linemen are able to climb up, get to the Rayder linebackers, and we've seen it a couple times with McHugh able to spring through and have those big chunk plays. So 2 things to keep an eye on. Can the Raiders continue to get secondary receivers, like Waha and Vollmer and Troy Nickel open downfield against man coverage? Because you're going to see a lot of press man. We saw a lot of press man in the first half. We'll see if Boyne City decides to stick with that or if they back off into more of a too high shell coverage, given about 6 to 7 yards of cushion on those receivers on the perimeter and keeping 2 safeties back. We'll see how they want to defend the Raiders coming out in the third and fourth quarter now that they have a 21-point lead.
I think the big thing here, too, is I think will be interesting to watch in that second half. Charlevoix has never been in this position before, right? They really haven't had it, except maybe for East Jordan the very first game. They've breezed through these last games really quite easily. So now they're in a position we're going to see what they're made out of, right? They're going to come out third quarter behind 21-0. You could make the point they've been kind of manhandled and physically kind of overwhelmed for most of that first half. So we're going to have a chance to see what our Raiders do when kind of meeting adversity, because this is actually the first time they're going to come out and you're going to play for yourself, your team, or you're going to kind of roll over. I'm thinking the Raiders are not going to roll over on this. They shouldn't roll over, but I think it's just a good learning experience for the team to kind of, okay, how do you react to adversity? We've never been here before.
Sure. So we're midway through our Bingham Insurance halftime show. We're going to step aside. 30 seconds from now, we'll be back with our keys to the second half right after this.
Business owner, you learn to wear a lot of hats. The custodian hat, the IT hat, and well, you should have called a professional hat. Auto Owners takes care of your business insurance, so you can take care of everything else. That's simple human sense.
Ask Bingham Insurance Services in Charlevoix if auto owners make sense for you.
And we're back into the Bingham Insurance halftime show here on Next Level Broadcasting with our coverage of Boyne City and Charlevoix. I want to thank all of our sponsors tonight. Just Wood and Steel, J. Arnold Painting, J. Arnold Custom Cabinetry, Professional Seamless Gutters, Bingham Insurance, Charlevoix State Bank, Fresh Coast Sliders, Bartlett's Home Interiors, Swanson K&D, the Dennis Helverson for Mayor campaign, also Northwest Heating and Air, Big B Coffee, Charlevoix Agency Insurance, Culvers of Charlevoix, Beaver Island Boat Company, Market Technologies Incorporated, Charlevoix Sewer and Drain Cleaning, Site Planning and Development, also CarQuest Auto Parts, and Martin Concrete, and last but not least, Skydive Charlevoix, getting together to bring this game to you wherever you're watching from. So if you see anybody you know from those affiliated businesses, give them a shout out and say, hey, thanks for sponsoring Charlevoix Raider football. I was watching from, as the Bergmans were watching from up in Copper Harbor on the top of a mountain. So if you see anybody you know who runs those businesses, give them a shout out, give them a thumbs up and say, hey, man, thanks for being a Raider. As we're getting ready for the rest of our Bingham Insurance halftime show, we talked earlier and we kind of teased it. What are the important things for the Raiders to do, right out of the gate in the third quarter?
I think they've got to score it off the bat. I just don't think. I think you put this in kind of that emergency mode where if you were Coach Jess at halftime, I mean, if he had a Newt Rockney speech up his sleeve or maybe back in his car in the trunk, he might have went out at halftime and grabbed it, because he's going to need that speech, that motivational speech, whatever it takes to kind of, it'd be real easy. Again, you got Boyne City, they're at home, the big home crowd there, mom and dad, your girlfriends, it's homecoming, man. You got the dance going on tomorrow night. You got all these, people all dressed really nice. So, I mean, they got a lot rolling their way, and then here comes Charlevoix, almost like, whoa, what's all this going on? And so there's a lot of emotion, and, Boyne City wants to impress, anybody they can tonight, and I think that's a lot of energy there.
Yeah.
And here walks in Boyne City. already in a hole, never been in this situation this year yet. I mean, and we'll see the resiliency, hopefully come back, and we'll see. But I think that first drive is huge for Charlevoix getting the ball back.
Well, just as you said, Dennis, we're in a position where we've never been before so far this season as a team. So we need to do things that we have not yet done before. That includes getting Vollmer, getting Waha, getting Spiegel, some of those guys that you don't see typically targeted downfield. Get them open, find some positions that they can get some open coverage, and then get big passes to them. I mean, we have not seen those. We have seen Vollmer and Nickel a couple of times this season. They've proven that they can catch the ball downfield. Even contested catches, we've seen Vollmer make a couple of times there, especially last game, working down towards the end zone. I remember a couple of examples where he had guys right on top of him. He was able to squeak through just like Sterrett and get those big catches. So we need to really try and see if we can't target some of those guys that Boyne City might not be watching out for, and just see at this point we're down 3 touchdowns, but we can make at all of this situation and try and just claw our way back.
Yeah, nothing's been easy for Charlotte that first half, and I don't think it's going to get much easier the second half.
No, one thing that the Raiders do have going for them is the Boyne City homecoming court. So a lot of these seniors for Boyne City might not be in that halftime locker room able to, get coaching at half. Some of the things that you don't take under consideration here. But we do want to catch up with some of our texts coming in on the Professional Seamless Gutters text in line. We got Let's Go Raiders from the Jones family, watching from Anchorage, Alaska.
Get out.
That's
a record.
I mean, you might have just set.
Come on, Charles. Let me see that. I don't believe you. Anchorage, Alaska?
Right there. Let's Go Raiders from the Jones family from Anchorage, Alaska. So, Jones family, you win.
You win.
You win the distance
If you were
prize.
closer, I'd send you a butter burger.
Actually, he still might, Very charitable man here. If you don't have any Culvers in Anchorage, Alaska, we'll see what we can do. Got a couple biplane pilots that we're familiar with in Charlevoix. So we also have the BBs watching from a hurricane down in Florida.
Wow.
So I hope you're doing safe, everyone down in Florida, especially the BBs. Thanks for tuning in.
Give you a little escape down there from what you've been dealing with. Hopefully we're doing that for you.
Hopefully we're giving you a little entertainment on a Friday night while you've got the hatches all battened down and riding the storm out, not to quote REO Speedwagon or anything. So with that, that's going to be our final thoughts from the Bingham Insurance halftime show. We're going to step aside, and when we come back, we'll have Raider football third quarter action, Raiders versus Boyne City. Raiders down 21-0. They're looking to make a big-time comeback as they look to bring some juice into this game. So stick around. We got that coming right up.
Business owner, you learn to wear a lot of hats. The custodian hat, the IT hat, and well, you should have called a professional hat. Auto Owners takes care of your business insurance, so you can take care of everything else. That's simple human sense.
Ask Bingham Insurance Services in Charlevoix if auto owners make sense for you.
Tonight's game has been brought to you by Professional Seamless Gutters, Charlevoix State Bank, J. Arnold Painting, Bingham Insurance Services, Fresh Coast Sliders, J. Arnold Custom Cabinetry, Bartlett's Home Interiors, Swanson K&D, Just Wood and Steel Sales and Design Center, Martin Concrete, Skydive Charlevoix, CarQuest Auto Parts, Big B Coffee, Northwest Heating and Air, WB Builders, Charlevoix Agency Insurance, Culvers of Charlevoix, Beaver Island Boat Company, Market Technologies Incorporated, Charlevoix Sewer and Drain Cleaning, Site Planning and Development. Thank you for your support. We hope you have enjoyed tonight's game. Tonight's game has been brought to you by Professional Seamless Gutters, Charlevoix State Bank, J. Arnold Painting, Bingham Insurance Services, Fresh Coast Sliders, J. Arnold Custom Cabinetry, Bartlett's Home Interiors, Swanson K&D, Just Wood and Steel Sales and Design Center, Martin Concrete, Skydive Charlevoix, CarQuest Auto Parts, Big B Coffee, Northwest Heating and Air, WB Builders, Charlevoix Agency Insurance, Culvers of Charlevoix, Beaver Island Boat Company, Market Technologies Incorporated, Charlevoix Sewer and Drain Cleaning, Site Planning and Development. Thank you for your support. We hope you have enjoyed tonight's game. Located in Charlevoix, Michigan, is Martin Concrete, where they specialize in residential concrete construction, providing high-quality concrete work and guaranteeing customer satisfaction. They're proud to serve Charlevoix and the surrounding areas. No job is too big or too small for Martin Concrete, with services ranging from concrete slabs, footings, driveways, retaining walls, and much more. There's nothing that Martin Concrete can't do regarding concrete. That's Martin Concrete, online at martinconcretecharlevoix.com, or give them a call at 231-838-9610.
This November, the citizens of Charlevoix will have a choice to elect Dennis Halverson for mayor. On November 8th, choose leadership you can depend on. Vote Dennis Halverson.
Paid for by committee to elect Dennis Halverson, mayor.
Vision Source and Gaylord Eye Care are proud to be offering their services to local communities across northern Michigan. With locations in Gaylord, Boyne City, Bel Air, and Sheboygan, they're committed to serving you and providing a trusted source of credentials and expertise. If you're struggling with anything vision related, then don't hesitate to schedule a consultation and meet their friendly and experienced staff for yourself.
Bartlett's Home Interiors is your hometown home furnishing store, serving northern Michigan since 1950. Your perfect fit is waiting for you here. Among our large selection of furniture, flooring, Serta mattresses, and Hunter Douglas window treatments, our experienced staff can help with the details that are important to you to transform your space. Come explore our 35,000 square foot showroom today, or visit us at bartlettshomeinteriors.com. Bartlett's Home Interiors, where you're always at home. M66 North, Charlevoix.
Try skydiving? This is Luther from Skydive Charlevoix. We specialize in first-time tandem skydiving and offer the best views in the entire Midwest. Jump from up to 2 miles high and free fall as fast as 120 miles per hour. Then, when the parachute opens, you can enjoy a peaceful canopy ride back to the landing area. Skydive Charlevoix also offers a scenic flight with every tandem jump. Enjoy an amazing bird's eye view of Grand Traverse Bay, Little Traverse Bay, Beaver Island, and the entire northern Michigan shoreline. It's easy to book your jump online at skydivecharlevoix.com. That's skydivecharlevoix.com.
And here we are, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the beginning of the second half, third quarter here of Charlevoix Rayders versus the Boyne City Ramblers. I'm Shane Smith, joined, of course, by Charles Trail and Dennis Halverson. What a good crew we've got here tonight. And this third quarter is brought to you by Charlevoix State Bank as Boyne City gets another squib kickoff, this time fielded right at the 23-yard line there by Ryan Pearl.
They have not wanted to have anything to do with Sterrett on the kickoff. Again, it's that left side. Again, another probably not by accident kick. They just don't want to even give him the chance to do something with the ball. So you're seeing those squib kicks, which not real good field position for Charlevoix starting this third quarter.
Just another thing that Charlevoix has yet to put up with, again, that they have not dealt with this season, is extremely deep starting position. They have not started past their own 25 this game. As Jess gets ready to throw, he connects over to Vollmer and then tips
the
it
old
off
hook
to
and ladder.
Sterrett, and he's gone up to the 40, the 30, and he finally gets pushed out of bounds by a last whiff effort there at the 25-yard line.
Yeah, the old hook and ladder at the start of the third quarter. Remember that, Charles, last year, hook and ladder?
I got to give a shout out. Yeah, the old hook and ladder. I remember, and I want to give a shout out to our friends Mark Jacobs at Jacobs Ladder in Charlevoix. We don't usually do free ads here, but Mark Jacobs, on the hook and ladder, got to give a shout out to the only window cleaning guy I know, Jacobs Ladder in Charlevoix.
Man, was that a tight play there, just in front of number 13, Alex Calcaterra for the Ramblers. Risky business there, but Sterrett was able to pull away with it, and the Raiders got their biggest play of the game.
Well, we talked about doing away with the playbook.
Exactly.
And
just strikes downfield to Waha. He gets within the 10-yard line there. Short
stepped
of the
out
touchdown.
of bounds.
Yep.
Well, we talked about the halftime speech and being a fly on the wall. At least I'd like to have heard what was said there, because the Raiders came out acting nothing like they're behind 21-0, getting manhandled the whole first half. Those were two great plays.
Oh, man. The heart is pounding right now after seeing those. The heart kind of stopped there for a little bit after that interception to end the first half. But here we go. Jess and company now knocking on Boyne City's door for only the second time tonight within the 5-yard line. Handoff to Swanson. He keeps pushing that pile, and looks like they'll get about a yard or two, still about 2 yards short of that goal line.
I think that, ever seen those things in case of emergency break glass? I think there was Coach Jess broke the glass at halftime and reached in and grabbed, some dynamite plays. Charlevoix's got the ball down there on the Boyne City 3-yard line looking to score.
Yeah, he broke the glass on the playbook, bringing the hook and ladder out. That's something that Boyne City hadn't seen on film.
Here we go, second goal now. Jess and company trying to get something. Swanson makes it up to center again, and he gets in for the first Raider touchdown of the night.
We were just talking. We hadn't seen much of Swanson that first half. Maybe they were just saving him.
Saving that energy.
Keeping them
ready to go for the second half to hopefully bring back a major comeback here for the Raiders. They start off with a great 4-play opening drive here to get the first points of the half on the board. Now Raiders are down 21-6 at the moment, but Pearl's going to drill in that extra point here momentarily.
Oh, blocked.
Oh, my God. I spoke too soon. Well, with that, Raiders still keeping a 3-score game, down 21-6 at the moment.
Isn't it kind of like getting sprayed with a hose after you just did something really nice?
You know what? It is like that, but gotta love the response.
Yep, without a doubt.
I mean, that's something that they absolutely had to have. I mean, they checked their gut. They went in there and said, "Hey, our gut, we're just fine." And you got to trust your gut also.
Yep. Well, we talked about how they'd come out,
right?
And up or down, and obviously, 4 plays they score.
Right. So they and the thing is, since Boyne City has been kicking the extra points, the Raiders still are only down 2 possessions, and I'm looking forward to seeing how this defense responds.
We need to hold.
Not only did they have a regular halftime where you mentioned you'd like to have been a fly on the wall, but they had an extra long halftime to receive some positive encouragement from that Raider coaching staff. And they responded.
It's easy to coach when things are going well. I've been in that spot. And it's more difficult when things maybe aren't going so well, and I've been in that spot as well.
So quick little onside kick there by Pearl, but Boyne City was able to field that one at their own 45, so that sets them up with great field position, the best that they've had to start so far tonight. So not exactly how the Raiders intended it to go, but still 6 points up on the board is better than 0.
Well, again, that surprise factor. I mean, we've had a hook and ladder, and we've had an onside kick in the first 3 minutes of the third quarter. So you can tell that Coach Justin, the coaches at halftime, they got volume 2 of the playbook out. which probably hasn't been opened a whole lot, and they've got it open now.
You know, this is a big game, and we'll see how that Raider defensive unit wants to respond here as they go with 4 down, 4 linebackers still.
Near shovels it over to Mason Wilcox, and he was able to come up with it, but not much of a gain there.
I believe that's the first reception on the game for Mason Wilcox. I don't think we've called his number.
I know I certainly haven't.
Up until this point, but if he's able to stay on his feet,
that
might have been a trap. He might have trapped that, Shane. I don't know if he caught that.
We'll see what the refs give him there, because you're right, that did hit the ground. But it
Well,
looks
they
like the
gave it to
refs
him.
will get him. They're not quite as sharp-eyed as we are.
They're
going to
give him a
replay.
gain of 3. But I think that might have been a trap.
Yeah, that was not a good pass either.
So Near and company get a little bit of a break there, trying to work up the center, and indeed he does. Gets another 4 or 5 yards. That's number 2, Joey McHugh once again for the Ramblers.
You know, I've been impressed with the yards after contact for Boyne City's running backs, especially Joey McHugh. I mean, not only has he had the big chunk plays, but when the Raiders have been able to meet him in the hole, he's been able to keep those legs churning, and you can't bring that kid down with just arm tackles. So big 3rd and 3 for Boyne City.
Hugh getting ready, hands it off again to Hugh, trying to get up the field, and they might have enough to get that first down. He had 3 Raiders all over him, but he was able to propel himself another yard or 2 forward on top of that. So we'll see where they spot the ball, and they give it to him.
Yeah, Charles, that was a great point. Yards after contact, because I think Boyne is, is doing that, to a great skill set, and they're getting 3-4 yards after they engage the defense at Charlevoix, which I think has been huge.
Yeah, the yards after contact is, right there. It was a 3rd and 3. He got about 3 yards after contact.
So here you go, Boyne City on a fresh set of downs. Hugh taking it one more time.
Oh, that was a really nice
Number
play.
70 there wrapped him up for
That
Charlevoix.
was,
Adam Streeter.
Adam Streeter got in the backfield, and McHugh didn't get any yards after contact on that one. He ran into a wall. Good push by the left side of that Raider defensive line. Streeter came around and made a nice wrapped-up tackle.
Yeah, we won't go the bear hug route, but it was a good. We were there last week, but that was definitely a bear hug and little or no gain there. 2nd down, and we'll say 10.
Thanks, Dennis, for bringing that moment back up again. Boy, there was a lot of laughs with that last week, but that just goes to show you the power of the Streeter boys. We haven't called them too much tonight, but when they're in there, they make those stops, and they're like a cement wall here. As Near and company start with a 2nd and 9. He keeps it looking for a man to throw to. Shoves it downfield, and it's
going to be passes caught to Mason Wilcox. Man, what a big-time throw and catch. Faked out the cameraman as the Boyne City ran a double fake in the backfield. Near scrambled outside. Had Wilcox on like a deep corner route or maybe a deep over on the far side.
Oh.
And,
that was
Bryce Johnson just wasn't able to keep up with them.
That was a great catch by Wilcox.
So here we go. Boyne City now on the Raider 15-yard line. Once again, marching it down the field, putting it to the Raiders. McHugh trying to get some yards again. Finally met up with a couple of Raiders. Not able to get much yardage there either, about 2 or so.
Yeah,
Landon Swanson with that bring down.
Yeah, I'd say Swanson and McHugh are going to be pretty familiarized with one another after the end of this game tonight.
Maybe they'll exchange Facebook pages after this because they've been up close and personal all night.
Well, Dennis, I hate to break it to you, but Facebook is a little bit outdated for folks of our age.
Oh, don't be confusing me.
Well, Instagram and Snapchat.
We'll see what the Raiders can do here. Another opportunity to stiffen up the defense here as they come back out in the 4-4-5 set.
Near
Boyne City, go ahead.
Rolling out, looking for somebody, fires into number 3, Ryan Spate, and he was able to grab it there at about the Raider 2-yard line. So once again, Boyne City looking at a short 1st and goal situation, knocking on the Raiders' door one more time.
Look at how high he's putting these passes in all night long. That you just run up and grab that thing, and they've been just excellent at bringing it down.
I think jumping jacks is a favorite exercise.
Oh, my gracious. I check their shoes for springs.
There's a good play made in the backfield. That's Herzog and Swanson.
Oh, boy, the 2 big guns for sure.
That was a 3rd down, I believe, gentlemen. So that's
the quarterback comes up a little limp in there, and he's going to come to the sideline. Jack Near kind of looking like he got a right ankle problem.
Yeah, shaking up on the tackle.
Well, he had 2 of the biggest bruisers Charlevoix's got on him, so
Well, it looks like he'll hobble back in there. Obviously, the biggest weapon for Boyne City, and we wish him, the best of luck. No matter who it is, we never want to see an injured player.
No.
So Boyne, it does have it second and goal, though. So we'll see if the Raiders can bow their backs here.
A quick handoff to Gavin Hewitt.
No gain. Still, that's a great play. 3rd and 5 now for Charlevoix. Defense is stiffened up.
Yeah, it was Swanson and Nate Claflin on the tackle there. It's just been the big chunk plays that Boyne City has been able to have that have been kind of the thorn in the side of the Raiders.
Watch for that pass to the back of the end zone. Maybe look for Calcaterra here on something that's been successful for Boyne City all night long. They've got a height advantage back there with Calcaterra and might go to the well one more time here.
One thing of notice is that quarterback Jack Neer for the Ramblers is really favoring that ankle. Maybe the Raiders can see that and put him in a pressure situation. But on the top of the screen, Calcaterra has one-on-one coverage. They're going to throw it to him. And almost intercepted by Max Dixon.
Hey, thank you very much.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, you get one-on-one coverage to Alex Calcaterra, you got to take your shot. But one thing I've noticed that I want to make a quick point of is quarterback Jack Neer. It's that the right ankle that I think he's limping around on. And when you're throwing, that's the ankle that you push off of.
Yep.
When you drop back in your 2-step or 3-step drop, as oftentimes he's going to do a 3-step from that shotgun or pistol formation. If you can't step into it with that right ankle and push off, a lot of your throws are going to be high.
Yep.
So we'll see what Boyne City wants to do here because Neer's also their kicker.
Doesn't look like it's getting any better for him either. He is really favoring that leg there as he kind of tries to make his way over to the sideline.
Yeah, and as Boyne City takes their time out to decide what they want to do, we're going to step aside and be right back after this. Okay, welcome back in. Charlevoix Raiders on their own 5-yard line. Boyne City knocking on the doorstep, 4th and 5. We're going to thank our friends at Swanson K&D. And when you think excavating in Charlevoix, there's only one name that comes to mind. That's Swanson K&D. Family owned and operated since 1944. Swanson K&D is your go-to contractors for all your excavating, road graving, paving, and in the winter, those snow removal needs at Swanson K&D. Also, Bartlett's Home Interiors, since 1950, the best selection. Actually, we're going to get back to Bartlett's Home Interiors right after this 4th and 5.
So a hobbled Neer hands the ball off, and another handoff this time back over to Hewitt. And he tries to get it in, and he does. Makes the corner past the pylon for another touchdown.
That was a dagger in the Raider heart.
Yeah, there was a double reverse that Boyne City just ran there, and Charlevoix had one perimeter defender out there, and he just couldn't make the play. I believe it was Max Dixon, and he just kind of got out-leveraged and sucked into the vortex of what was going on in the Boyne City backfield as Hewitt came around to score on the double end around. That is quite the play call.
When
4th and 5.
When we look back on this play, keep that play in mind. We had him 4th and 5, quarterback limping, and then Boyne City says, if you can do some trickeration, so can we. And boom, there you go, 27,
well,
28-6.
Keep in mind that Boyne City has scored 2 touchdowns on 4th and 5 or 4th and 3 earlier on in the second quarter. They put up a pass to Alex Calcaterra in the back of the end zone. It was a 4th and 3, Dennis and Shane, and Calcaterra went up to make the big grab. So 4th down, goal line to go has been troublesome for the Raiders tonight as Boyne City has really out-executed the Raiders on that goal to go, especially on 4th down.
Oh, man, that was like slamming your thumb in the car door, man. That one hurt so much. 4th and 5. Looked like we going to get a big psychological boost there by stopping them there after coming out of the halftime and scoring right off the bat, and then Boyne City does that to you.
So that's going to give us time to finish thanking our friends at Bartlett's Home Interiors. As I was saying before the We can cut way back to the game. Since 1950, the best selection of furniture, flooring, Serta mattresses, and Hunter Douglas window treatments has been at Bartlett's. Bartlett's Home Interiors is the name you can trust with the brands you need. See for yourself at their 35,000 square foot showroom in Charlevoix or online at bartlettshomeinteriors.com. We want to see for ourselves what the Raiders can muster up as they find themselves once again in a 21-point hole. 5 minutes to go in the third quarter. Charles Stray along with Shane Smith, Dennis Helverson, Boyne City getting ready to send it away. Let's see if they squib it again.
Well, I think Charlevoix's got to go to the pass on offense. We got to score 3 times, and that's assuming Boyne City doesn't score again. So we look for maybe that game plan is out the window, probably blown over somewhere right now about Boyne Mountain, and everything is brand new, and that one luckily goes into the end zone, which not too bad a field position. That was pretty good kick. He's got a leg too.
He does indeed. Yeah, and it just, my God, if the Raiders can't do it here, I mean, to see the quarterback, as we watch here in this replay, hobbling around, not able to make as good a throws as he used to, gets the handoff, and then another handoff back over to Hewitt, and he's able to make it in for a touchdown. If the Ramblers can pull that out of their hat, then the Raiders, unfortunately, just may not have a whole lot to work with here if they cannot score on this next drive.
Claflin was the only guy with a shot at it, and that he kind of overran the play there, and he was the only guy that was going to stop that play and couldn't do it.
So here we go, Jess, with the handoff now. Vollmer was a little bit stuck there, wondering what to do with a wide open lane to run through. He kind of stopped there and then got brought down, so not much gain there at all for Vollmer. Charles, you have something you wanted to say?
Yeah, there's that first time we've seen that misdirection play. Charlotte has run that the first time. We see that's a staple of their offense. First time they ran it there, and Boyne City was ready for it.
So Raiders still stuck with a 2nd and 10 situation here, buried deep back within their own territory. Let's see what Jess and company can come up with here on a must-have touchdown drive here in order to keep in contention with the Ramblers with 4:52 to go in the third quarter. Sterrett trying to break up the side, and after all that, only able to get about another 5 yards or so. So that'll bring up a 3rd and 5 for the Raiders. Another big conversion here, a must-have.
Well, Boyne City is excellent at stringing the play out. They string that out, and the pursuit was good. Everybody stayed in their lanes, and typically Sterrett would be able to, a lot of times this year so far, has been able to get around that corner for big gain, and Boyne City shut that down with only a 5-yard pickup.
And to pour a little salt in the wound, the Raiders picked up a holding penalty on that, so that's going to back them up. They'll be looking at probably a 2nd and 20 from their own. Looks like the ball's right on their own 13-yard line.
A lot of times you'll see a guy hold, especially if the guy across from him is a little bit bigger and maybe more physical. That sometimes is all you can do to, not to have the play kind of fall down in your lap. So, but another obstacle.
Raiders' 2nd penalty buries them even deeper in their own hole. Just looking for a man. A short pass to Vollmer once again.
Lucky that wasn't picked off.
Oh, my God. Number 13 there, Alex Calcaterra, was just irate that he could not pick that one off, and that would have set up Boyne City for another great position. So Raiders looking for a 3rd and forever here. I mean, they're pretty much all the way out to Susan Lake for Boyne City trying to get this one buried deep back. As Charles said, at their own, looks to be about their 13-yard line.
Or at least Horton Bay from over there.
I don't know. That 3rd and 20 buried deep back. That feels a
little
little bit longer than Horton Bay, in my opinion. But we'll see here. Just looking for something, met up with pressure. And all they can do is get back to the 20-yard line.
Yeah.
Yep, original line of scrimmage.
So now a big decision to be made here for the Charlevoix coaching staff. What do they want to do? They're back on their own, 20-yard line. It's going to be a 3rd and about 9 yards. Do you go for it here? Or it looks like they're sending Pearl out to punt it away.
Yeah. Contact by Boyne City.
That's going to be a false start on the Raiders. So.
Yeah.
Well, Raiders, just darn it, shooting themselves in the foot a little bit here once again.
Trying to get off on the block quick, and just a little bit too quick.
Makes you wonder if they had a little trick play or something that they were trying to run.
It could have been.
Got too excited.
Yep.
Nevertheless, Pearl all the way back to the 30-yard line, trying to kick this one as deep as he can muster. He gets one of his shortest kicks of the season. Only brings the Ramblers to the Rayder 35-yard line to start off here. So
another flag. Got another flag down, so we'll see what the call here is. Well, no, I actually think that got thrown off clean, but the ball is at the Rayder 34-yard line, so that's where Boyne City's going to set up shop here. But the big story of note is their quarterback is really feeling the pain from that ankle injury as we get a cut scene to the Boyne City homecoming court. But in the backdrop, you can see the Boyne City offense getting ready to set up. We'll see, what they have in store, what the Raider defense can set up here for this 1st and 10.
Well, it'll be interesting to see what the Raiders can do now against a hurt quarterback as McHugh, again, gets a solid run up the center, working against that really kind of watery Raiders defense at the moment, something that we haven't seen yet this season, and he gains about 7 or 8 there on the play.
And like we talked in our pregame, Coach Jess was worried about McHugh, and he specifically mentioned that kid as being a handful, so he's kind of proven that out here tonight and really has picked up just about whatever he's needed here to keep the sticks moving. We need a turnover. We need a fumble. We need an interception. Turn this thing around.
Handoff once again to McHugh. Keeps driving it up the center, and this time it looks like it will be enough for a first down.
And one thing that I've noticed about the way that McHugh runs is he doesn't go down on first contact. You're not going to bring him down with an arm tackle. He's got a stocky build. If you're looking at him getting off the bus, you're not going to say, man, this kid's going to shred us. But he really has done the bulk of the in between the tackles carrying the ball for Boyne City this game.
Well, Boyne City is not going to get too fancy on offense here, and as long as McEwen keeps picking up 4 or 5, 6 yards a carry, I think they're going to ride that horse as long as they can.
No need, why not to? I mean, they're up 21 points there as he gets a few more yards, and again, this time the first down. They did mark him a little bit short on the last opportunity, but he is now across that first down line. See that replay here. Just able to work against every component of the Raiders' defense, and we'll give credit where credit's due there. I apologize for the misread. That was Ryan Spate that time that worked it up, number 3 for the Ramblers. We've called his name a few times tonight, and he's a young sophomore, so a good young weapon to keep growing up here with the Boyne City Ramblers. Near once again, looking to hand the ball off, most likely still working that injured right ankle, all taped up now. McHugh has it back once again. He's able to break away from the Raiders and gets pushed out by Sterrett at the 5-yard line, so they'll be setting up for another likely touchdown here in just a moment with 1:49 to go in the third.
Yeah, the outside contain for the Raiders just wasn't there as they kind of all sunk down the line of scrimmage, and there wasn't much outside help on the perimeter as Neer was able to break the tackle. Got
2 tackles.
Got around Bryce Johnson. And then Sterrett was the last line of defense, able to push him out at the 5. But, man, you look at that stiff arm that McHugh is able to put on Bryce Johnson there, and that's just tough to overcome.
Here we go. Neer trying to get a throw there. Gets it
easy
to a wide-open Hewitt, and he'll run it in for another touchdown.
So, yeah, Boyne City going out into the flats. All you got to do is fake that little give read to the running back, and Charlevoix's got to respect it, and you throw it right into the flats to Hewitt, and he's rolling in for an easy touchdown.
Yeah, I think you hit the nail on the head, Charles. Is that Charlevoix has been trying to keep that run at bay up the middle, and so they're kind of looking that way, which I think opens up the outside. So it's been difficult for Charlevoix to both try to control that line of scrimmage, but yet try to cover those those passing plays out on the sides.
So here we go. This time it'll be Ryan Spate with the kick for the Ramblers, and that's plenty good as well. So Ramblers have at least 2 good kickers, and with that, we'll have Charlevoix's next drive after this commercial break.
Bartlett's Home Interiors is your hometown home furnishing store, serving northern Michigan since 1950. Your perfect fit is waiting for you here, among our large selection of furniture, flooring, Serta mattresses, and Hunter Douglas window treatments. Our experienced staff can help with the details that are important to you to transform your space. Come explore our 35,000 square foot showroom today or visit us at bartlettshomeinteriors.com. Bartlett's Home Interiors, where you're always at home. M66 North, Charlotte.
And here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Boyne City about ready to kick off. We've got a minute and a half left to go in the third quarter. Boyne City just got another touchdown to add on to their tally. The score is 35-6 now. Raiders just trying to keep it from being a blowout at this point. A little damage control. Maybe get another touchdown or two that they can have something to hang their hats on here before game comes to an end. As we've seen, just a powerful run effort by Spade and McHugh with the injured quarterback. Little squib there, and Raiders are able to. No, Boyne City's got it. Oh my goodness!
Boyne City does the onside kick, and another dagger.
Oh my God! Right at the 50-yard line.
That's tough. I mean, obviously the Raiders weren't expecting that one, but Boyne City doesn't want to kick it back deep to stare it. Last time they kicked it deep, it went through the end zone for a touchback. This time they kind of just like, hey, we're gonna pick a number, try to kick it right off your chest, and hope it ricochets, and they got a favorable bounce, and they got right back on top of the ball. Not sure if that had to have been called. There was no way that was just a miss kick.
No.
So Boyne City with the ball right back, and right now I'm going to say this looks personal to Boyne City.
I agree.
You're up 35-6 and you're onside kick it. This seems a little personal.
Yeah, that they're going to have their way with us. I don't know.
Oh. Hewitt evades two defenders there and is working along the field now. Gets what could have been a massive loss turned into a 10-yard gain. Crosses all the way over the 40-yard line. Evaded number 55, Jack Herzog for the Raiders, one of our biggest players on the D-line there, senior for the Raiders, and he just couldn't bring him down, and so they turn into another first down.
Well, Charles, I think I agree with you. I think this is a statement game for Boyne City. They obviously not letting up on the gas pedal at all. But the other thing, you watch Near on here, how's he managed to still be out there? Well, that hit number 56 is the one who that bounced off of, which kind of set the play up for for Boyne City.
The 66.
Trevor
Streeter there, bounced right off his foot. So here we go. McHugh once again just working that ball up the center. Finally met by four Raiders there. At the bottom of the pile is Trevor Streeter, and then let's see. I believe that's 61. Number 61, Braden Greensky there. Finally able to see his number. So took four Raider defenders to finally bring McHugh down. And he's not a very big guy either.
Yeah.
Just goes to show the power and strength of this entire Rambler team at the moment. Able to make do with an injured quarterback, and they're doing well.
He kind of hobbles with one foot out of the way. How can you not take him out?
One thing that I've noticed, Boyne City pretty loose with the ball. Maybe Charlevoix can get a good punch out here, but as long as they keep handing it off to McHugh, it's going to be tough sledding for the Raider defense.
Well, you can't just like a steady drip on a faucet. Boyne City's picking up 4 and 5 yards a carry. Why would you do anything else? I mean, you're gonna dominate offensively. The Charlevoix defense seems like they've been on the field most of the night.
Yeah, I mean it's been largely one-sided in terms of time of possession. So with that, we're going to step aside here. When we come back, we'll have the fourth quarter right after this message.
And Gaylord Eye Care are proud to be offering their services to local communities across northern Michigan. With locations in Gaylord, Boyne City, Bel Air, and Sheboygan, they're committed to serving you and providing a trusted source of credentials and expertise. If you're struggling with anything vision related, then don't hesitate to schedule a consultation and meet their friendly and experienced staff for yourself.
Yeah.
Wanted to try skydiving? This is Luther from Skydive Charlevoix. We specialize in first-time tandem skydiving and offer the best views in the entire Midwest. Jump from up to 2 miles high and free fall as fast as 120 miles per hour. Then, when the parachute opens, you can enjoy a peaceful canopy ride back to the landing area. Skydive Charlevoix also offers a scenic flight with every tandem jump. Enjoy an amazing bird's-eye view of Grand Traverse Bay, Little Traverse Bay, Beaver Island, and the entire northern Michigan shoreline. It's easy to book your jump online at skydivecharlevoix.com. That's skydivecharlevoix.com.
Well, here we are, Boyne City once again, creating another drive to get down the field and add on what is already a massive lead with Charlevoix. That was number 13, Alex Calcaterra, once again for Boyne City. Just keep working that ball up the field. Rayders not able to do anything much to stop it at the moment. You'd think after all these plays that there'd be some new way to stop the ball from moving up the field, but the Rayders just have not been able to come up with an answer, and we see these continuous 5-6 yard plays that just keep adding on the salt to the wound of this massive deficit that Charlevoix is facing at the moment.
Boyne City's just got a stable full of studs, I think, is the bottom line. You got, these guys are just manhandling Charlevoix at this point at the line. There was a stop, kind of a rare stop for looks like about no gain, but it's been a slog for Charlevoix here tonight.
Oh, man. So with that, just as you said, Rayders able to finally get a stopless, the first third down that the Ramblers have seen this drive, but it's a short third down, only about, actually, no, it's a little bit longer than I expected. It's about 3rd and 7.
It's like 3rd and 99.
I wish. Yeah, but for the Ramblers, it might as well be. This has been their longest third down we've seen from them in quite some time. Here we go, near. This time he'll keep it, looking for a man to throw to, and that was broken up. Finally, a good breakup there by number 6, Bryce Johnson.
He had a chance at it. He had a chance at that. Yep. Be 4th down and 9 for Boyne City. I think they go for it. I think they've not had enough taste of blood here. I think they're not going to take their foot off the Raiders' neck or throat right now. I think they're going to keep driving.
Yeah, we'll see what they choose to do here. Looks like they're sending out the field goal unit, though, Dennis, as they throw in the tee from the sideline. So don't know if this is their usual field goal kicker or not.
Man, we're talking 45 yards from right there.
Yeah, we're looking at about a 45-yard field goal attempt. It's going to be Ryan Spate to attempt it.
Kick is up, and it's short.
Boy, that
was a nice break for the Raiders.
That's the ugliest thing Boyne City's done all night right there.
the field goal attempt that might have been deflected at the line of scrimmage
that
a
was
little bit.
That was not pretty.
Yeah, with that one unable to be connected on by Spate, we're going to take some time and thank some more of our sponsors like Skydive Charlevoix, and they're calling all thrill seekers, adventure enthusiasts, and everyone in between to thank Skydive Charlevoix for your next adventure. Take flight with Skydive Charlevoix and experience the rush of jumping out of an airplane from up to 2 miles high and right in your own backyard. Check out their website online for more information. That's Skydive Charlevoix. Also want to thank our friends at Bingham Insurance. Hey, running a small business can be risky, but Bingham Insurance has got you covered for everything you need to protect yourself from the unexpected from happening. Bingham Insurance is a proud representative of the Auto Owners Insurance Company.
Well, here we are. Raiders taking it from their own 25-yard line. Vollmer trying to get, that was Landon Swanson trying to get some momentum there, but he had 3 Ramblers hanging all over him. So that'll be another second long situation for the Raiders coming up.
55 looks like a big boy.
That would be Connor Rakovich. He's been out there all night. A stalwart for the Boyne City Ramblers defense. Haven't said his name a whole lot tonight, but there he is. You know, he's part of that Ramblers defense, getting the credit that our Raiders defense normally get, and we just have not been able to compete with the Ramblers so far. So here we go once again, 2nd and 9. Just taking the snap, keeping it, met up by number 53, Leon Zong, and he's sacked there on the backfield for a massive loss.
I believe that's the first or second sack of just tonight, and the offensive line just blew that coverage. He shot right in between the right tackle and the center, and it was on after that. It was a race to the quarterback.
I don't think he was touched going through that offensive line by Charlevoix. That was he was back there almost before Just had the football.
Raiders backed up 3rd and 16. Ramblers just looking to step on the Raiders and really snuff the life out of them one final time here as time winds down under 9 minutes to go here in the half. A trick play. This time Vollmer sends it upfield, and it's too long for number 22, Troy Nickel, to grab there as he met with quite a bit of effort there by the Ramblers. I can't quite pick out the number that he was going up against, but
it was coverage provided by Gavin Hewitt, number 14 for Boyne City, and we saw that play come out against Tawas last week. Charlevoix ran that one. It was Sterrett who threw it last week. This time it was Vollmer who threw it down the sideline to Nickel, and that's another one that Boyne City definitely saw on film because Hewitt stayed right with his man, didn't pay any attention to the reverse motion, and we have a blocked.
That was blocked.
Kick.
Oh my!
Right into
It's right into the hands of Calcaterra, and he's going to get it all the way back to the Raiders' 6-yard line. So when it rains, it pours. And
it's a good country song. Not for this game.
It is a good country song, but unfortunately, it's a little bit too suited for the series of events that's been going on tonight for Charlevoix. As Boyne City's got it first and goal from the Raiders' 6-yard line.
And the other thing, they are showing no indication they are going to let up on the Raiders here tonight. They're going to keep plowing that thing in. I don't think they'll stop before the lights get turned out.
You know, when it does rain, it does pour, but in order to protect yourself, we want to help you with professional seamless gutters. They're always there when you need them to be, even when it's raining and pouring. So our good friend Orion Beningo at Professional Seamless Gutters, you can always give them a call, and they'll answer your call. That's 989-619-3407. Helplessly plugging the sponsors that help bring this game to wherever you're watching from. As I'll have to send that one to our friend Orion, as we were just talking about. As it rains, it pours, and that's Professional Seamless Gutters to help make your life easy.
Well, I tell you what, that was a good lead-in. We could use some gutters to help mitigate the runoff that is the Ramblers' offense as they keep just dribbling the rain down onto the Raiders as they keep adding on those 4, 5, 6-yard plays every single time here. As we've got another run by Hewitt.
There ain't
up the sideline, and he gets in.
There ain't no dribbling going on. This is a doggone downpour.
Yeah.
Just
I had the wrong D word. There's another D word I have in mind, but I don't think that's quite appropriate for the Raider listening audience tonight.
Well, that was just Hewitt on a quick jet sweep. Boyne City is going to get out in front and bring their play side guard right in front of the play block with their H-back and receivers on that side of the field, and Hewitt's just able to outrun the Raider defense. So Boyne City looking to go up 42-6, and as we alluded to earlier when Boyne City had that onside kick, this feels personal to Boyne City.
Yeah, I think they particularly enjoy beating us. Always have, thinking back. And again, they're just having their way with us here tonight, which...
We talked about this in our pregame meeting, Dennis, and we wanted to reference the greatest Boyne City Charlevoix game ever to your recollection. And what do you have for us?
It was 1996.
Okay.
Boyne City was rated 5th in Class C back before they did all these Section 1 through 6s.
Sure, the divisions.
The divisions. So they were top number 5 Class C coming into Charlevoix Kipke Field. The Charlevoix Raiders had 14 kids on their team. How do I know that? My kid was one of them. So you had 11 guys out there. 3 players on the sideline. Boyne City comes in, looked like they had 500 players on the sideline. They came in there, they were just going to throttle Charlevoix that night. Came out first half, Boyne City was ahead. They were honoring Coach Carey that night, who was dying from cancer, a longtime Charlevoix coach. And he came down to the field, and that team, those 14 kids, surrounded old Coach Carey. And something happened. I could almost see light coming out of that huddle. Charlevoix went on to beat Boyne City that night. I think probably one of the finest football games I've ever seen the Raiders play, or comeback that I think should go down in history. But that was probably, in my recollection, the best Boyne City Charlevoix game that ever occurred, and probably the best I'll ever see. It was just a phenomenal football game. So talk about David and Goliath and David winning. 1997.
There you have it. Best Boyne City Charlevoix game in accordance to Dennis Halverson's memory, as Boyne City is kicking this one deep.
Sterrett was able to pick it up. He's working up along the 30-yard line now, breaking away to the 40, the 50, and he's got
it.
He's gone.
Touchdown.
Wow. All right, well, might as well get a little something extra on the board. Why not? Sterrett gets his first return of the night after a kick. At least he keeps that record going. Every single game he's had one of those, so there's something that we can continue.
Well, that's like spitting in the face of your executioner, right? And you got Boyne City just having their way with us, and Sterrett says, take that.
Well, that also shows you why that Boyne City, hadn't been kicking to him all night long. I don't know if they just had a mental lapse and they decided, okay, we're up 42-6, let's kick it deep.
Or they felt pretty comfortable with the fact that they're going to get him anyway.
Yeah.
Great run back. One little bright spot in this Friday night game.
I mean, you saw him get a little crease there around the 35, 40-yard line. He hit the crease, and then it was a foot race between him and Hewitt, and he just outran him.
Do we have any idea on what the overall record is between Charlevoix and Boyne City? Does anybody know that?
We do not, but if you do know or have a pretty good guess, please text it in to the Professional Seamless Gutters text-in line. It's right there on the bottom left of your screen. Actually, we'll put it up there so you can see it a little bit better. It's right there. That text-in line is 231-350-9040. Also, remember to vote for the Culver's Butterburger Basket Player of the Game tonight, as we want to also thank our friends and sponsor at the Beaver Island Boat Company, helping bring Charlevoix football to you as well.
Sure.
So go with it.
We have a lot of people to thank for the production of this, to be able to transmit and stream Charlevoix football wherever you're watching from. Obviously, it has been a little bit of a humbling night tonight as they find themselves down 42-12 to the county rival Boyne City. However, there will be brighter days, going forward for the Charlevoix Raiders. As text us in on that hotline as we're getting ready to award the Culver's Butterburger Player of the Game Award. Once again, always brought to you by the Professional Seamless Gutters text-in line. Also want to thank our friends at Martin Concrete right after this 2-point conversion.
Jess keeps it, and he hits it right in there. My goodness. Well, that was a nice little add-on to a fantastic run there by Sterrett. So I'll bring the score 42-14 now. So as Dennis said, there's a small bright moment, a little bit of light there in the darkness for this game. Charles, you've got something you'd like to say?
Yeah, I do. I do want to thank our friends at Martin Concrete. And you have a timetable to complete a project. Expect prompt service that caters to your schedule. Whether you're a homeowner, business owner, your satisfaction is their primary concern. That's Martin Concrete at 231-838-9610. That's Martin Concrete, one of our sponsors for tonight's game, allowing you to watch Charlevoix Raider football from wherever you're watching from. Remember to text us in, tell us where you're watching from, also to vote for that player of the game. So whether or not that this score is a little bit cosmetic after this most recent touchdown for the Raiders, Shane, it still counts. So they find themselves down 42-14. You got to expect an onside kick here.
Mm-hmm. It still helps. It gets the Raiders into at least double-digit scoring, so it doesn't look quite so bad on the papers as they come out hot off the press here at the beginning of the week. But let's see what Pearl can do here with this kick. as Dennis likes to say, what kind of trickeration he can put on the ball. And it's a long, long kick, and it'll bounce away. So, as Dennis said here a minute ago, we've got brighter days ahead of us. The only problem is for the Raiders as they gear up for the postseason is that those brighter days equal to easier teams that should be a little bit of a blowout that we've seen so far from Charlevoix. Manistee is coming up. I know they haven't had a very successful football team the last couple of years. Kalkaska hasn't been that successful either. So Charlevoix should have some easier opponents. The only problem is that doesn't set them up too well for the postseason coming up.
Yeah, they just need that 6th win, which Boyne City looks like they're going to get tonight, which will punch their ticket to the afterlife in the regular season. So Charlevoix is going to have to wait to grab that 6th one. But as we've talked before, it's all about the points, too, with regards to if Charlevoix plays that first game at home or somewhere else. This would have been a boatload full of points if Charlevoix was able to pull this off, but it doesn't look like that's going to happen tonight.
So McHugh there gains a little bit of yardage there on the ball. Doesn't get more than about 3 or so. So that'll bring up 2nd and 7 coming up here for the Boyne City Ramblers as he was about to their 45-yard line. Yeah, they'll call it 44.5. Coming up here is the Ramblers more than ice this one away. They're just looking to put a little exclamation point on their score and rub it into Charlevoix's faces here a little bit as we wind down to under 7.25 minutes to go in the game.
If you see some passing going on, they're not done yet.
They do have the backup quarterback in, so we'll make note of that.
So at the moment, Spate tries to run it up the field, and we apologize there for the... We gone?
Bartlett's Home Interiors is your hometown home furnishing store, serving Northern Michigan since 1950. Your perfect fit is waiting for you here. Among our large selection of furniture, flooring, Serta mattresses, and Hunter Douglas window treatments, our experienced staff can help with the details that are important to you to transform your space. Come explore our 35,000 square foot showroom today or visit us at bartlettshomeinteriors.com. Bartlett's Home Interiors, where you're always at home. M66 North, Charlevoix.
I'm Ryan Beningo, but you might know me for my business, Professional Seamless Gutters, where we specialize in, you guessed it, everything gutters. New installation, replacements, cleaning, leaf guards, rain chains, and much more. But unlike many service providers, when you call Professional Seamless Gutters, you get me, Orion, not some bum intern or call center recording. So when you're contemplating any services regarding the gutters on your home or pole barn, think Professional Seamless Gutters.
And here we are, ladies and gentlemen, back again. We apologize there, but here we are. Raiders and Ramblers meeting up here the final 5.5 minutes of the game. Lost the connection there on Boyne City's end, but we're able to get it back. And with that, Ramblers will... Whoop, we've got a bit of a flag there, yep.
He was pointing Boyne City's way. We'll see how interested Boyne City is really rubbing their Raiders' faces into this contest tonight by this series of downs. Are they going to kind of fumble around and kind of not make Charlevoix look too bad, or are they just going to go right for it?
Yeah, we'll see what they want to do on a 3rd and long, backup quarterback in.
That'd be number 8 drew near, a freshman this year for the Ramblers. Near family, heard of them a long time here between football and basketball, working the ball up the center. They aren't able to get more than a few yards, so that'll bring up 4th down for Boyne City here in just a moment as they're right about midfield.
Interesting, Boyne City's second-string quarterback is a freshman.
Well, that was Brady last year. We were able to watch him a couple times last season when Stuck was taking well-deserved breaks, and that's just good to get those guys some.
Yeah, that's number 8, Drew Neer.
Yeah.
So you probably hear a lot of his name or read a lot of his name in the local papers for the next 4 years or so as Boyne City's getting back to send this one away. I highly doubt that they kick this one to Sterrett.
No. I don't even looks like they're going to kick it. You got a punter back there? Yep. Just out of the frame.
High and short kick there. It bounces down to about the 22-yard line, and that's where the Raiders will pick it up here with 4.5 to go in the game.
That punt reminded me of my 3-wood today at the Muni.
High, short.
Yeah,
with
high,
some
short.
backspin on it.
Yeah.
Ugh. Dennis, I apologize to rub it in here as a golf player. That's not exactly the greatest hit you want to have off of a 3-iron, but
no.
So, we'll see what the Raiders can muster up here. This is what we would refer to as a pride drive, down 42-14, and it's just something that you gotta really dig down deep and see what you can muster up here.
Well, that's what the Raiders are all about, Raider pride. So let's see if they can put something to hang their hats on one last time here. Jess fires well upfield, and it was caught by Sterrett with good contention there by number 14, Calcaterra. There it is. I apologize. So Raiders get up to midfield off of the first play of this drive, and maybe they'll have a little bit left in the tanks to get down there towards the end zone.
Well, that ball was thrown on the back shoulder of Sterrett, so he kind of had to come back. I don't know if that was the design of the play or that was just a short pass.
I
but
think probably how they designed that one, because you look at the way that coverage was being played there by Hewitt, and that's the only place where you can throw that ball, and Sterrett's able to make a nice play on it.
You'll see that pass a lot in the NFL where they have to come back, and that's part of the play that the defender overruns the coverage there and allows that reception to occur.
Just fires well over the head of Dixon, so that'll bring up 2nd and 10. Thankfully, there was nobody there to intercept it. So Raiders get a free opportunity here to try that play again as they're on the Rambler 48-yard line. 4 minutes to go in the game, just trying to get something to add on to that scoreboard, at least bring it to within maybe 20 points or so to end off the game, so it's not quite such a blowout.
That's got to be one of the longest receptions of the game tonight, that last one, if not the longest.
Just looking, fires again. 2 passes over the heads this time, but this was met with a lot of effort there by number 5, Owen Hewitt, and number 63, Filazong for the Ramblers. So it was a good pass to just throw dead in the water there.
Yeah, again,
so we don't get another interception.
Just thrown into double coverage, and I just continue to see that Boyne City has been watching a lot of Charlevoix tape. It just doesn't seem that Charlevoix is able to complete some of those typical passes and catches and runs that we've seen all year. So.
Just looks, fires a short pass, and that'll be dropped, but there is a flag on the play.
Yeah, they're probably going to get an ineligible man downfield. Number 55, Jack Herzog, was about 6 yards past the line of scrimmage, and that's right. Actually, it's going to be a hold. But
right guy, though.
You could have taken your pick, a hold or an ineligible man downfield. He was about 5 yards downfield and had a good hold of Jersey there as well. So we'll see what the Raiders have for 4th and long.
We see the Charlevoix crowd in the back of the frame there. Seems like had a few of them kind of heading toward the car already, heading back to Charlevoix. I know there was a lot of them going over there tonight and still a few hanging around, but not going to come away from here tonight with a real good feeling.
Justin Company, 4th and 10, still at the 48. Lobs one downfield.
Oh,
just off
he had
the
it.
Fingertips there. My goodness. Owen Waha just couldn't bring it in.
You don't see him drop many passes like that. That was right where it needed to be, and it looked like it was going to be a catch until it wasn't.
Yeah, it was a perfectly thrown ball. Waha ran a really decent route there. And for him, he just kind of had that adjustment late in the route to make. You could see that as the ball was kind of coming back over top of his head, he had to adjust and try to find where the ball was coming in at the different angle. And sometimes, maybe a light got in the way, but that's definitely one that he typically makes. That's almost I don't want to say routine, but one that you see him make more times than not.
So here we go. Number 6 this time, new man, Tristan Ager, another freshman for the Ramblers. Getting
Big
a little
kid.
bit of play time. Yeah, my goodness, for a freshman. Jeez. So he'll get about 4 yards or so on the play. Boyne City now rubbing it in, showing the fact that even their freshmen can do some damage against the Raiders.
Yeah, he's a big boy, though. A lot of these names are familiar. That Ager, we've got some, I don't know if spelled the same or not, but, we've got some Agers on.
I remember a Jason Ager at one point.
Yeah, on our team. And a lot of other things going on always has been between East Jordan, Charlevoix, Boyne City with regards to, jobs and live in one place and a job in another. So all these kids know each other.
Yeah, as we see Boyne City Beaver Island Boat Company was one of Boyne City's sponsors. As
also one of our sponsors.
Yeah, well, that's what I mean. We got a little competition there as Ager once again gets that ball up the field, number 6.
I think they run a midnight special from over there occasionally, from Boyne City to Beaver.
Okay.
I heard that they might do that occasionally.
We'll have to check in on that, do a little research.
Oh boy. So here we go.
Don't hold me to that. I thought I heard something about that.
So 3rd and 4 now for the Ramblers. Don't pay attention to their number there in the bottom right corner. Just pay attention to the pylons there. And doesn't look like they'll be able to convert there. Number 6, Tristan Ager again, handling the ball for the Ramblers. He'll be stopped about 2 yards short.
Well, Ryan Pearl put a pretty good hit on him.
Yeah.
There was not many yards after that contact. Pearl put a nice stop on him.
So while we have a little bit of time, we want to thank some of our sponsors one last time. Our friends at J. Arnold Painting and Cabinetry. J. Arnold Painting was founded in 1994 and has been an industry leader ever since, boasts an experienced staff that has seen and painted almost everything. Home exteriors, interiors, fine trim, and finish work. We're going to finish this one up right here after this 4th and 3. Boyne City kind of muffs the snap, and Charlevoix Raiders able to push them back with the pile. Raiders are going to take over at the 49-yard line. We're going to finish up and give credit to our friends at J. Arnold Painting, as they're only one phone call away from getting you one step closer to completing your dream home. You can give them a call at 231-547-0540. Also, Charlevoix State Bank. During a time of mergers, acquisitions, and name changes, the founders of Charlevoix State Bank saw a need for a truly local bank focused on the community and strong customer relationships. Those values continue to drive them today as they always support high school athletics through their sponsorship of tonight's game. Also thanking our friends at Fresh Coast Sliders. Located at the back lot in Charlevoix is Fresh Coast Sliders for hamburger sliders. It's the taste intersection of savory and gourmet, as Brady Jess is able to hit Hudson Vollmer on a little flat route, pick up about 12 yards on the carry. As I was saying earlier, Fresh Coast Sliders is the taste intersection of savory and gourmet, offering a wide variety. Fresh Coast has something for everyone. Check them out online at fcsliders.com, and then we'll meet you at Fresh Coast Sliders. As the refs gather, we're going to continue to go right down our list. Swanson K&D. Hey, when you think excavating in Charlevoix, there's only one name that comes to mind. Swanson K&D, family owned and operated since 1944. Swanson K&D is your go-to contractors for all your excavating, road grading, paving, and snow removal needs. As we get a couple different personal foul penalties called here and assessed on both teams, they're going to be declined, and it's going to be a replay of first down. I also want to thank our friends at the Gaylord Eye Care Center. The Gaylord Eye Care Center, now with 4 locations in Boyne City, Gaylord, Bel Air, and Sheboygan, the Gaylord Eye Center wants to keep you at the top of your game, especially anything vision related. Don't hesitate to contact their friendly and experienced staff today. It's the Gaylord Eye Center, obviously, the closest location right in Boyne City. So the Raiders are going to get the result of the play after the offsetting penalties.
See that ref? He's got he's prepared for a supernova of the sun. He's got his sunglasses still on the bill of his cap. You never know when there might be a supernova or some kind of special cosmic occurrence that you might need those sunglasses at 20 after 9 in end of September.
Yeah,
it's a fashion statement. That's a referee fashion statement. Still having the cool dude sunglasses on.
Well, Jess rolls around. He's able to connect with Vollmer, and he gets a couple extra yards past that first down marker. And Dennis, thanks for bringing up stuff about the sun. For those of you who may be interested tonight, there's a good chance for seeing the Northern Lights tonight. Might be coming down this way. A nice clear night. So anybody that's interested, be sure to go take a look and see a special show. Maybe a little more special than this one tonight.
Well, the Bergman's up there at the end of the Keweenaw Peninsula. Can you imagine?
Right up there on top of Brockway Mountain.
Man,
You couldn't get much better
wouldn't
than
get much better than that.
Well, as the Raiders are going to get backed up by a 10-yard holding penalty, that's going to push them back to 2nd and 20.
Would be nice to rip one off right here, wouldn't it?
It'd be nice to do something. The Raiders just shooting themselves in the foot. Can't seem to get a whole lot right now, backing themselves up to 2nd. And it looks like they'll keep the first down marker at least, but still 1st and forever here, just trying to get something going against the Ramblers. Here we go. Jess met up with some contention there, but Sterrett's able to come away with it. Makes it past every single defender Boyne City had to offer, and he'll waltz it in for a second touchdown of the night for himself.
So the Raiders set up that screen perfectly.
That was one of the best play calls of the night, I thought, for the Raiders. Caught Boyne City totally off guard. Giving it to your bread and butter guy, and he comes through for you, make it a 20-42 game here. So, like you said, Charles, it's kind of like a gut check drive.
Right. But there is a flag on the play, and it's a hold on the Raiders.
Man.
So that play's coming back. Unfortunately, the big-time run after catch for Patrick Sterrett. But they're calling the hold. So the hold occurred while the play was going on. So they're going to give Charlevoix a first down, ball on the 40-yard line. So
as opposed to the touchdown, though.
As opposed to the touchdown, it's still unfortunate, but it's not going to back them up all the way.
Well, as my Polish grandmother used to say, Matka Boża. I never knew what that meant, but she only said it when something didn't go real well.
Well, once again, Waha connects there with Jess, and he's able to get down about the 25-yard line before he's brought out by Owen Hewitt for the Ramblers. And we get lovely camera positions here from the Boyne City crew. Thank you so much for showing the track and two dudes standing there alongside a ladder.
Playing a video game.
Yep, it's good to see them.
I'd venture to say that's probably the drone pilots.
Oh, yeah. Sure, but it's nice to add in a little bit of humor instead of watching the football game where you get to watch the drone pilots. Ooh, boy, there's a helpful view for the football game tonight. Man, I can really tell from here what's going on. But
I still amazed at those drones that can maintain that stability in the picture. That just seems like it's rock solid. But it kind of gives a next level entertainment. Another kind of sets the bar, doesn't it for you, Charles?
It is some next level entertainment. I'll give you that. But I will say that it's really the commentary that makes or breaks.
Yeah, I agree.
The production. So.
And you've got the best money can buy, I'm telling you, right now.
Yeah. Well, and for everybody tuning in who's always tuning in to, our coverage of Raider athletics, thank you for tuning in tonight. Obviously, it didn't really work out the way that they had hoped. They try to run that same little slip screen as
Ryan Spate sniffed that out. He was sitting there waiting for it.
They just tried to stare it out of the formation, get him set up, and maybe he can break a couple tackles and get in for another end of the game touchdown. But it looks like Charlevoix is going to take one more timeout, I want to say, before this one's going to end. But with that, we're going to give a shout-out to our Culver's Butterburger Basket Player of the Game tonight. And tonight's Player of the Game award is going to go to number 33, Josh Schultz. Josh Schultz, we've been calling his name quite often throughout this point in time in the season. And it's sometimes hard to pick, from a player of the game tonight. given the score, but we want to reward his enthusiasm, tenacity, and the way that he just flies around out there on the field. So tonight's player of the game, number 33, Josh Schultz. Josh Schultz, he's always got family members texting in, supporting, and voting, and his votes tallied up to be the most that we had in the queue tonight. So congratulations to Josh Schultz on the Culver's Player of the Game Awards tonight.
Well, and he's provided some of the biggest hits that we've seen in the season, so it's good to give him a little credit there as Jess fires off to Sterrett. Sterrett's able to work it up the line, goes out of bounds, so is able to stop the clock, or at least should there. They've got about 12 seconds left to work with, if that's correct. I don't know, I let that clock run a little bit longer than I would have thought. But the Raiders are down to about the 6-yard line or so of Boyne City, so hopefully they can drive one in before time expires. We'll see what happens here as Jess and Swanson are lined up ready to go.
Look at the far right there.
Little flick over to Swanson. He's trying to run up the side, and he'll be met with plenty of opposition by Boyne City. So that'll bring time for one more play with 6 seconds to go in the game.
Boyne City was not – their whole team went that way. They were not worried about that coming back. That was an impossible situation for success for Charlevoix. The whole Rambler team defense was down there, kind of set the Berlin Wall up between that success and failure of the end zone.
But you know what? The Berlin Wall came down, and maybe the Raiders will be able to make that happen here before time expires.
They're going to have one more play. We'll see. It's got to be a pass in the end zone. That's the only thing right now that I think I might trust is to find Vollmer, even Swanson in there. But no, unless it's a trick. No
Sterrett's got it. He's trying to work it in, and he does. Before time expires, he's able to add 6 more points up onto the board.
So that one's going to be, purely cosmetic there, but able to
hold on Charlevoix.
And we got a hold coming back, so we'll have to replay this down. If Boyne City declines the penalty, the result of the play stands, so they have to accept it. So it's going to back up Charlevoix 10 yards. I think the Raider offensive line is just really tired.
Really tired.
They're going to let this one go, and we're going to see the two teams meet here and shake hands as Boyne City is going to get a 42-14 victory over your Charlevoix Raiders. So tonight's game didn't go the way of the Raiders, but next week they'll be playing Saturday versus Manistee. So make sure you tune in to that game. It'll be a Saturday matinee game starting at 2:00. We'll have that one for you. Also, we'll have coverage next week on October 6th. We'll be doing the Charlevoix soccer game. It's a big soccer game coming up for a good cause in Charlevoix as well. So make sure you follow the Next Level Broadcasting Facebook page for the updates and details on that one. Shane, can you give us a little bit of information regarding the soccer game for the cause? We will obviously update people as well on that later on in the week. So for myself, Charles Strail, Dennis Helverson, Shane Smith, all of our sponsors tonight from Just Wood and Steel, J. Arnold Painting, J. Arnold Custom Cabinetry, Professional Seamless Gutters, Bingham Insurance, Charlevoix State Bank, Fresh Coast Sliders, Bartlett's Home Interior, Swanson Candy, Dennis Helverson for Mayor Campaign, Skydive Charlevoix, Martin Concrete, Northwest Heating and Air, Bigby Coffee, Charlevoix Agency Insurance, Culver's of Charlevoix, Beaver Island Boat Company, Market Technologies Incorporated, Charlevoix Sewer and Drain Cleaning, Site Planning and Development, and CarQuest Auto Parts. We want to thank you for tuning in to tonight's game. Raiders go down swinging 42-14. That's going to do it for our coverage of tonight's game, but we hope you tune in next week as the Raiders take on Manistee from Kipke Field.
Emeralds.
We'll be there for opening kick at 2 p.m. Good night, everyone. Have a great weekend.